If you're interested in learning more how HeadCheck can help your team or organization, please visit headcheckhealth.com or email info@headcheckhealth.com. That's headcheckhealth.com or info@headcheckhealth.com and tell them TR sent you.
Why do you hang around with the worst crowd, the worst crowd? It's gonna hurt me, 'cause you're with the worst.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 5 of Third Man In. I am Mike Hickey, joined by
Charles Pickett,
and of course,
Terry Ryan.
And we are here today getting ready to talk to Colby Armstrong in a little bit. We're excited about that one. Terry and Colby go way back, knowing each other as Red Deer Rebel alumni. And there's going to be some great stories and stuff coming out of that. But let's just get right into it this week. I guess we'll kick off our week with the Bob Cole "Oh Baby" moment of the week. Charles, what do you got as your Bob Cole moment?
I'm going with a hat on a hat here. My Bob Cole "Oh Baby" moment of the week was actually the Bob Cole montage for his last game at the Air Canada Centre.
Nice pick.
It was done. I believe Tim Thompson put it together, who was at Bound.
By the way, you want him on the show?
Yes,
good
yes,
buddy.
I just want to exchange music recommendations with him first. I just want to talk to him about bands like My Morning Jacket and Neil Young and stuff. But definitely on the show.
We can do that on the
right
show.
After this,
I love Tim Thompson. I love his stuff so much.
Me as well. He did. He did one for the Leafs recently with. I can't remember the artist's name, but he's in The Lowest of the Low, but he had a solo record, and he did Peace and Quiet, was the name of the tune, and it's on YouTube. It's if you haven't seen it and you're a Leafs fan, it's the most amazing montage. Took my dad to a game a few years back when they were playing that before the Leafs came out, and my dad was literally like a single tear kind of, and it was just, that's the power he has.
Yeah.
But he used a Frank Sinatra tune, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
Because Bob Cole, big Frank Sinatra guy, big Blue Eyes guy.
Yeah.
Which, no, you keep going, because you know what, I didn't have an "Oh Baby" moment, but now I'm going to elaborate on what Chucky just said, but you guys go first.
Well, my Bob Cole, the moment that made me go "Oh Baby" this week was... I gotta go Bruins again. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm talking too much about the Leafs. He's even giving me a look here.
I'm sorry, but it's Patrice Bergeron played his 1,000th NHL game this week, and at the end of the game, there's an empty net. Pasternak is in by himself. He's 10 feet away, sees Bergeron coming behind him, and just leaves the puck on the doorstep for him, so Bergeron can tap in the empty netter. And it was just such a nice moment that shows how respected and how well liked Bergeron is in that room.
That's a great call too. I mean, I got Twitter and I tweeted that out. What the fuck am I thinking? I was thinking I don't really have any "Oh Baby" moments of the week. Those are two great choices that I should have had banked, by the way.
I think that's an "Oh Baby" moment.
It is.
I saw that.
You know?
And I saw that and I was like, oh, that is, being nice to the old fella like that. You know,
old fella.
The old man at 37 or whatever he
Not
is.
even 37.
He's played 1,000 games. Usually it takes fellas in their late 30s to get there.
Yeah, but I mean, that's just that he came out of the gate.
Yeah,
like,
he also plays with broken ribs and punctured
that guy.
lungs.
But it does, I think, show a lot about not only just Bergeron started playing in 03-04. He is a year younger than I am.
Sorry to call you old there, Mike.
But yeah, it's not only just shows how well respected Bergeron is in that room and stuff, but it also it makes me feel good about Pasternak. It lets me see a young guy who's to
me it says more
coming
about
up through. He's going to be the next big star for the Bruins if you don't consider him that already, and to see him do that kind of selfless gesture to give somebody else that goal, I think is it says a lot about him too, and I really liked it. I thought it was great.
It's a hard job for me to feel good about Pasternak, Buzz. I got to tell you, as a Leafs fan, it's a hard job for me to feel good.
I can see why, but I was never really huge on him. I mean, I did not like him. I appreciate his talents, but that's another reason. Just team sports, that sacrifice for the team. Like when we were talking about toughness a while ago. I don't know if it's quite tough, but it's definitely it's a form of it in a way of. You're mentally, you got a goal. NHL goals aren't easy to come by. Ask Patrick Laine, one of the best scorers around, got 2 goals in 20 fucking odd games. Well, a guy like Pasternak, it's like anything. It's like often you see a guy block a shot when it's 6-0. Why'd you do it? Because I was serving the shutout for our goalie. Well, that's the same kind of thing. There's, you know, toughness and sacrifice and team unity and all these attributes that go with being a team. You know, they raise their head in different ways, and that was just an unbelievably classy example of it.
Sid Crosby's his like big campaign, I think his career high is 121 points, and during that year I don't think he scored an empty net goal. I can remember watching, and I can remember they'd always find a way to stick the guy on the ice with him when the net was pulled as a guy who was in a slump. So I can remember Crosby setting up fellas like Michel Ouellette, Dominic Moore was one, maybe our guest coming up later, Colby Armstrong might have been one. I remember him setting up like Eric Christensen, fellas like that. If he was out there in an empty net opportunity, I think he always passed it, and that just and
it says a lot.
I'll give you a funny story about empty netters, and my buddies from the old Tri-City Americans from 93 to about 97, they're there. Mark Hurley and Mike Hurley I know are listening, and the boys would. I started 94, 95, my draft year, on fire. I was center the year before, and which means I played left wing my draft year, but I was center the year before. I had 33 points, I believe it was, 176 minutes, which were good numbers for a 16-year-old. I think being drafted third overall in the West, they expected a little bit more. But we were in last place, so it was a decent year, I thought. But next year I go left wing, and I get put with Damon Lankow. And he the year before only had 50 points maybe, and we put together we were magic. He had 140, I had 110 by the end of the year. But on the way there, I remember in the first 4 games, first 10 games, I had 4 hat tricks. And anyway, one of those hat tricks, guys, the boys remember this, I know they do. We're in Portland, and we're up by a goal, and I played shit. It was the worst game, and I got the puck late. It was maybe with only like 30 seconds left, but I got it, and I scored. So they left their goalie out. No, sorry, they scored. Now, I've got a goal, empty netter. Now it's 4-3. They pull their goalie again, I score again. You won't fucking believe it. They left the goalie out for the rest of the game, I score again.
You got an empty net hat trick?
I played absolute shit. It was in Portland. I played with Dean Tilchin that game, who got traded for me a couple years before. It was a weird game for a lot of reasons. And I had a hat trick on the empty fucking net, all with less than a minute left. Oh yeah, in a regular fucking hockey game, like in my draft year, and people are going, another hat trick. I read it all around, like I used to read the Wire, read the news and everything, and they even reported in the Telegram, Terry Ryan has another hat trick. I'm like, they don't ask how, they ask how fucking many. But getting back, boys, you know what? We were going to talk earlier about something, but I'm going to change it. The Tim Thompson story. So, picture this. So this is not me with my old baby moment of the week, but often I need to be set in a direction, and it's a story.
we just turn you and point you and let you go.
Yeah, that's exactly. I'm like that Energizer bunny that keeps fucking clapping his hands, whatever he's doing.
He's playing the cymbals.
He's playing the cymbals.
He's got a drum, guys. He's got a fucking drum.
It's a drum too.
It's a bass drum. It's a bass drum, everybody.
Oh, man,
that says Energizer on the side. Come
this
on.
is a Mandela effect thing.
It's only been happening for 30 fucking years, guys. Like,
we
come
should
on.
know the difference.
Me and the Energizer bunny have the same birthday.
Me and Night Court.
Night Court.
January 4th, 84. All right, continue your story with Tim Thompson.
So my book was coming out 2014, and I was in Toronto for the Exclaim Cup. And me and Hawko doesn't get met. Alan Hawko, that is, he was the star of Republic of Doyle at the time, still a really involved, famous Canadian actor. Hawk's in Frontier as well as a lot of other things, and he writes a lot. He's a fucking genius, that guy. So he asked me to go out to a bar in Toronto called Hemingway's in Yorkville. So I said, okay. And Hawk said, your book's coming out. I got this. It's all good. So I was in for it. I ordered like crazy appetizers, had a few beers. I'm pumped. So we're sitting in the bar. I take my phone because, I'd been on Twitter promoting the book. I'd been 100 messages a day. I just finished the Allen Cup the week before and then when the book came out. So it was just chaos. So I took my phone, threw it in the corner. So Hawk happens to be checking Twitter like an hour into our meal and says, Jesus, what's it going to be? I said, what do you mean? He said, the song tonight. So Ron McLean had been on TV, and he said, TR and I have a song. Because when Ron and I get together, we drink a lot and we play music a lot. But I'm going, what fucking song is it? So, and he said, that song is going to open up Hockey Night in Canada tonight with a Tim Thompson montage. Is that what you call it?
Yeah,
montage?
they're montages.
Yeah,
So,
montage, yeah.
Now I'm trying to think of what it is, and I'm in the bar in Hemingway's, and people can hear Alan Hawko talking because everybody's listening and eavesdropping, and so like, who's Terry Ryan? Who are you talking about? He goes, this guy. So I got one copy of my book there, and I show people. And I'm saying, I know what the fucking song's going to be tonight. They're like, well, what is it? I'm like, well, I don't know, but I do know what it's going to be. So I'm like, what the fuck could this song be? So I remembered. I called Jeremy Hart, my good buddy, and you know Jeremy from Grand Falls. And I said, what were we listening to? And he said, well, the last time we saw Ron, we were in PEI at our buddy Housecat's place, and that's another long story. But Trevor Burt. And he said we were playing the Beach Boys, and we played that Beatles song that you love. And that's why the front of my book, Ron, it says, Terry's a joy to be around, or something like an extended piano note. He won't go away, or he keeps on giving. He's a friend that keeps on giving. Won't go away. It's started to,
sounds like you're a raccoon.
Whatever way, Ron can articulate shit, right? Ron can articulate.
He's a raconteur.
What he was referring to was the last note of A Day in the Life.
Yeah,
where they So he said like a sustained piano chord, Terry's friendship keeps on going. So. And he's always got a way. So I said, I know that one, but they can't be playing A Day in the Life for the hockey game. And Jeremy said, that fella, from Montreal.
And that's it, is I know this because you told me that Senior, I think, screamed this story over you in your basement about a month ago and then played the song, and I'd never fucking heard it before.
And you can still get it on YouTube. Yeah. You can still get it's called Some Sing, Some Dance by Michel Pagliaro. And Pagliaro is from Montreal. Once you hear the song, he had a bunch of hits. "Loving You Ain't Easy," and oh god, now that I got to think, what the hell I got is another one. Oh, what the hell I got? Well, you know what I'm talking about. I'm almost there. Yeah. But this particular song, we're gonna listen to it after this. It's called "Some Sing, Some Dance," and he comes out, and it's the playoffs in Montreal.
Yeah.
So now we're at Hemingway's. It goes silent. I stand up about maybe 20 seconds before. I said, it's going to be some sing, some fucking dance. I guarantee you. I'm the guy he's talking about. So it goes on, and it shows the Habs highlights. Yeah. Of course, I'm not in any highlights.
You're not in any of them.
But he's got and it's fucking, it'll give you goosebumps. Look it up, Some Sing, Some Dance, Tim Thompson, Hockey Night in Canada. It'll come up on YouTube.
It's on YouTube. We watched it,
There you go. And fucking, anyway, the song ends, and the camera comes in and pans into Ron, and he's holding my book, and he says, my buddy Terry, now that's not on the YouTube part, but he said, hey, my buddy Terry Ryan got a book coming out, and then it pans out, and Don Cherry's going like this, because Don's I'm raising my thumb. Yeah. Don's a good buddy too for a lot of reasons, but anyway, so that was how I ended up, releasing my book. It came out like the week before, but no one had really known. I hadn't announced it, and I wanted to announce it at some point. The Allen Cup's easy. I walk in with 200 books, I sell them all. Yeah. But it finally, so people got to know from Tim Thompson's montage of Ron McLean's suggestion of a song that we would listen to at 5 in the morning in Housecat's basement. It is garage, actually. But anyway, that's my Tim Thompson story, and this guy's a legend. Look at anything he ever did.
TR, did the floor stay intact in that garage?
You know what? We wouldn't have known. I don't know how Ron does it. He doesn't get hangovers or some shit. I'm in bed for 2 days after we hang out, and he's up at 8 in the morning doing radio hits or whatever he's doing.
I appreciate that because I might have thrown up minutes before Charles walked in today.
Mike's a little under the weather.
Shape.
He's got the brown bottle flu.
But also, going back to the start of that story, congrats to our good friend Alan Hocko. Hawk just got nominated for Best Lead Actor in a Drama or Limited Series for Caught at the Canadian Screen Awards. The show is also nominated for Best Limited Series, and so congratulations to him on those nods.
I'm sure part of it is he beat the shit out of me with we got a crowbar that it's
okay.
Take the shot.
I'm listening.
Take the Shot Productions. We have a lot of the same props. So there's Little Dog, there's Caught, and there's Frontier. Well, and there was Republic of Doyle. Mm-hmm. So my first stunts that I ever did, and for those who don't know, I'll explain it at some point. But so I do some work in film, and most of it's through Hocko and a couple of his close friends giving me an opportunity. But my first stunts were on Republic of Doyle. And in a bar fight, I had to beat up Hocko, or try to. Jake Doyle always comes out on top, but it's a crowbar and it's rubber. Yeah. So you can just hammer someone across, and he would smash me over the head with a fake bottle. And anyway, so then it turned up on Caught, and in Caught, I'm in it for a brief second. I'm a cop, and I come up on a trailer, and he's in there with a girl, and they're doing just about everything fun that would that a good-looking guy and girl would do in the 70s that had no responsibilities. Anyway, he coming out and he fires a barbecue at me, but I looked around. They were trying to find a prop, and they're like, whatever it was, I was supposed to have a gun, but I didn't have it. And sure enough, the rubber crowbar came out again.
The rubber crowbar.
But yeah, I've been caught for a quick minute. We pull into Scampers, fish and chips in one scene, and then Hawk throws a barbecue at me and knocks me down in the other.
My second day living on this island, I moved here at the height of Republic of Doyle mania. He's doing a signing in the Avalon Mall.
Yeah.
And I'm my phone goes off, and I think it's a job interview. So I excitedly, I'm facing eyes into my phone, and they're announcing his name to go do that signing. And I round a corner where he was rounding the corner, and he bumps into me, chest to chest, and he falters. Yeah. And I look up and I'm like, oh, sorry. And then I look up and register who it is, and I'm like, oh fuck, they're gonna kick me off the island for this. That's it. I'm
How
done.
popular was he he still is, but at the peak of Republic of Doyle, it was crazy. You couldn't even go out in public. Well, he stopped doing a lot of things.
He was in the brown leather jacket and he was on the way
he
there.
Was
and if I swear, if he had to go down.
And by the way, a good guy that we'll have on here at some point
for sure,
because he's a great hockey player. Hawk, I'm not saying he could have played in the NHL, but he's a fast enough skater that he could have caught on in the third line with the junior team, not major junior, junior A though, for sure. He was I even remember that growing up. He was with the Ghouls, so Mount Pearl. It's classified. Mount Pearl, 30,000 people, whatever, puts us in A. Or AAA, whatever. We don't have AAA here in some divisions. Back then it was just A, B, C down the list. And they actually have, I'm not kidding, you would know in Lab City and Goose Space, sometimes it goes down to H. It goes by population. Yeah. From there, now you could have a good team. Like my second year Pee Wee, we beat Lab City in the final. If you have a great team, you move up that quick. They won't allow someone in H to win 15-0, which happens, Yeah. So, but Hawk was, so we didn't come across him much, even though there's they're right next to us geographically. Yeah. But we played them enough, and he was just always a bullet, and he still is. I mean, when he keeps himself in that kind of shape.
Well, it's I always make fun of Hawk when we're playing. It's just of course you can skate that fast and you're that agile because you're in. Trained. I might have to take my shirt off on TV next week shape.
Yeah, well, he is a nutritionist and a trainer.
Yeah, he's always
and
just
to
ready
be
to go
honest,
that way.
Hawk would be doing that show and go and do a scene, and have to put everything into it, and you laugh sometimes, and we all joke at it because Republic of Doyle had its own audience, but some of those scenes required romance. They required him to cry, and then he'd go right there. The scene would be over. He'd wipe off the tears, go into the trailer, and write the next episode, as well as sort out some things with his agent, and then we'd often have the knock on the door. He right back on set, didn't miss a line. I mean, for those. When I say didn't miss a line, I mean words, obviously. I just got to cover myself here, right? Because some people take it the wrong way, and there will be a portion of people that will fucking email me. But anyway, yeah, enough, I guess, about it. But Hawk will be our guest on this show sometime, and I'll save a lot of it for that.
Yeah, there's a... Yeah, we both play the Republic of Doyle skate that's still going on, even though the show ended a little while ago, but that skate still goes, and Hawk comes out every now, not so much these days because he's just so busy. He's just running around all the time. So, but yeah, looking forward to at some point getting him on and having a chance to talk to him about a bunch of stuff, including hockey, kind of like what we did with Jim last week, where it's just kind of talking about how that kind of lifestyle and working as an actor and writer and everything in Hawk's case.
Also, has good. So a few years ago, I set him up with the alumni guys because I Frady, L.I. Frady. They mentioned Brian Trache, Gary Lehman. God, I could go down the list. Don Sweeney was there at that point. And the first trip I got him on with the boys.
It's up to Wabush.
Was up in Wabush. You're fucking right, it was.
My mom
when I say I got him on, I mean I gave a contact. Hey, sometimes people say, oh yeah, I'm in the entertainment industry and I play hockey, and they go out there and they can't skate. I was just like, boys, you need people in Newfoundland to draw fans in. You want some 50, 60-year-old women into this game because that's a demographic that never come. If you want that, Alan Hocko's your guy.
It's a big deal for my mother when when Alan Hocko came up to Lab City or Wabush.
Not that he doesn't attract the younger women, but the younger women got more to do. It seems to me, they're not coming to a fucking game in Labrador City, but it seemed to me that wherever we went, the Cougars and then some would always be over.
Well, it's funny. I was on the bench with Hako probably about a year ago. We were sitting down, and right after our game when we play, there's like young figure skating is like the next ice time slot. And so there's all these girls that are like show up while we're in the last hour of our skate, and they're running around and doing their warm-ups and all this kind of stuff. And Hawk's on the bench with me one day, and someone's chirping him about something about like, oh, all the young girls are here now. They're going to watch and watch you play, and they're going to be looking out because Jake Doyle's on the ice. And I just like, Pies, like, those girls are too young to remember Republic of Doyle. They don't know who the fuck Hako is. And it's just completely cut him the fuck down. It was great.
Well, it is funny now because he's doing more projects.
Yeah.
But at least here on the island, not as popular is the wrong words to use, but he doesn't seem to be in the public eye as much, even though he's bubbling under in many categories.
I mean, well, I think it's just once Doyle ended and Frontier started, it kind of like JMO kind of took. Yeah, that the reins there as kind of
and I
the
think
face
Hawk
of Newfoundland film and television.
He's still in it. He's just not the principal character.
He's in a great horror film I saw this year. Actually, Hako was.
The Child Remains. It actually, I know the director that actually just sold to. I think it's Uncorked, and so Child Remains, starring Alan Hako, Nova Scotian, film by Mike Melsky, is just got sold at Berlin, I think, this week. So it's going to be hitting
beautiful
theaters all over Canada, U.S. I guess, getting a bit of a wider distro on it. So congrats to them too.
Yeah, great movie.
Yep, fun movie.
A couple of good jumps in there.
Seen it a couple times now.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on from let's move
our
on from all
Hako
that.
segment is done there.
Yeah, and
call that the leather jacket segment.
I love Colby even more, so I can't imagine what our interview is going to be like.
So let's hop off of the Bob Cole Baby Moment of the Week and directly into intentional offside. So these are some things that just kind of are catching us off guard. We don't really, we're not really feeling them quite so much. They're not making us say "oh baby" in quite the same way. It's more of a facepalm sort of situation, and
scolding "oh baby."
Yeah, so
oh baby.
Charles, let's kick us off. I think you want to talk a little bit about a young fella out of Winnipeg.
Yeah, okay, I got two, and I'm going to try to limit them because number two is going to probably make me yell a lot, and that thing where it sounds like I'm running around Mike's basement, but I'm just moving my head and my hands a lot. Number one is Patrick Laine. He's in a bit of a slump, and I just can't wrap my head around the... Okay, I'm not a coach. I'm not a coach in any capacity. But he got sat for all but one shift of the second period, I believe, in a Winnipeg game this week. He's in a slump. He hasn't scored in something like 19 games, could be 20 games now. And I don't know if he got one in that Montreal game. I didn't watch it. However, his minutes have just...
Everybody got a fucking goal in that Montreal game. No, not that one. No, it was the Anaheim
he never
one.
got a goal in that
I was thinking about the Anaheim game.
And anyhow, his minutes have just gone... They've been nibbled away. And I know Winnipeg is a good team. I know that there is talent there, but when your franchise player is on an RFA contract year and you're the coach and you start eating away at his minutes, this is a game of chicken that Paul Maurice is not going to fucking win. He's just not like if the Laine camp comes and says, well, no, he goes or I go. He gave me 12 minutes, in the middle of January when I was at a slump. I remember when Drew McGinley, and I keep cycling back to Drew McGinley, I remember when Drew McGinley started the season kind of slow a few years back with the Flames, and everyone was saying, well, what's wrong with Drew McGinley? What's wrong with Drew McGinley? And I think it was Ron McLean. Nothing. He's perfect in every way.
Yes.
I think it was Ron McLean or Don Cherry got talking about it, and one of them said to the other, well, look at his ice time. His ice time was hovering around like 14 minutes when he was obviously before that was well into the 20s. Mm-hmm. So ice time comes up, the slump goes away, lo and behold. I don't think the way you bust a slump is by giving the guy less to work with.
And I mean, Terry, you could probably talk about this a little bit more from being somebody who's actually been on a fucking pro bench as opposed to either one of us. But to me, it seems like it's that thing of if you're benching him, chances are if he's being benched like that, part of it is to just kind of give it a bit of a reality check.
Send a message.
It's a message center. It's to just kind of say look, I'm as aware of your lack of productivity as you are, but I think that you just gotta get the guy out there like a fucking workhorse. He's gonna get a goal and it's gonna take the monkey off his back, and then he's gonna fucking roll and be fine because he's Patrick Laine. He is that franchise player for them.
Well, I'll tell you, usually guys, when you get something like that, there's more to it, right? And I'm not saying that the guy went out and committed a crime or anything, but what you're seeing on TV as a fan is about 1% of everything that they do. So often a guy comes in. I remember Line A. I like the guy, by the way. I like him as a player. I like everything. But when he first came in, he was ultra cocky, and he said something. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get 65 goals. Or, well, you can great goals to have. I think it was something like that. I can't remember. But he said a lot of things that seemed cocky. So I really don't know. But I'm saying a lot of times there's something else to it. So who knows? Combine that once attitude that still might be bubbling under, right? Combine that with in the dressing room, how does he act in the dressing room? Now, he might have got, you'll never hear about it, he might have gotten an argument with some guy, Scheifele, whoever, I'm creating something totally. But someone might have said, you know what, you got to get your fucking act in order, and you got to back check just because you're not scoring. You never know.
It could
right?
be.
Or he could have gone out, he could be stressful, someone in his life could have passed away. Maybe he needed the time. You don't really know. Just often, if Paul Maurice, who's a very smart guy, smarter than each one of us in this room when it comes to hockey, is sitting him, then it's not like they don't see each other and it's just analytical. In that room, what are the conversations between them? Maybe Maurice called him in before the game and Line A told him to go fuck himself. Like, you really don't know. I'm presenting all these scenarios that are negative, but I like Line A. I'm just...
Might have threatened to grow that beard
Yeah,
back.
yeah,
I'd sit him for that. I'd sit him for that. If he said I'm growing that beard
could be
back.
something.
beard
You know,
again.
there's often guys... I remember a guy I played with, Vladimir Malikov, could have won the Norris Trophy. What a talent, and big, and I was 6'3" or 6'4", 220. He was just given. He was a gift. And a lot of people thought that he was going to win the Norris Trophy. I personally didn't think that what I saw, he worked hard enough. Remember I told you he was the only guy I ever saw that went by union rules. I remember it was like we were like 2.5 or 3 hours into practice, and he just took his gear off and left. No one really said much because it was within his rights, but I thought it was a real bold move to make, unless you're superstar. So
Wayne Gretzky.
But who knows? I remember him taking a game or two off with an injury, and he got filmed by a fan on, like you mentioned today, on Mount Tremblant skiing. And he was out with a knee injury. So when he came back, I remember, now that only ended up being public because a fan saw it and reported on it. Now, when he came back, I remember him being back. I know I only played 8 games, but I was there that whole year. I played 3 games, and they wanted me to practice for most of the year. They thought I'd learn more in Montreal, so I did. And what you do, you take in a lot. When you're, I didn't really have to worry about my job. I had to worry about learning. So instead of me going out and getting frustrated, I was a sponge. And I remember him coming back and getting benched, and he fucking should have been benched. But if people didn't know about that, they would have said, what the fuck are you doing with Vladimir Malikov? Well, to tell you the truth, he basically gave the fucking team the finger and said, go fuck yourself.
That would be me, by the way. That would be me saying, like, what the fuck are they doing? You know what I mean? That would be shouting on a podcast.
So... exactly. So for me, I remember when it came out, I was like, and I never would have said anything about it at the time. It was probably, if you Google this, I'm sure it'd come up. It was 20 years ago, but I'm sure it would come up. He's on a ski hill. So
with a knee injury. That's pretty,
There's little shit like that can happen. I remember the same thing. We were out, I was going to play one of those games, and I didn't pick up the pucks at the end of practice. And I remember Steve Schutt, great guy and everything, but he's like, we're going to put one of you guys in the lineup. It was me and Tucker were the extra guys, Darcy Tucker in Montreal at the time. And he said, you came off 5 minutes early. The team would practice, then we'd stay on and do our drills and everything. So he said, just for 5 minutes, he wasn't telling me to stay longer. He's just like, those pucks, who do you think's going to fucking pick them up? Vincent Damphousse? I'm like, no, I didn't even really think about it because I was a superstar up to this point everywhere I've been. When I'm a rookie and junior, I was 14 in Quesnel. So I did that just because I wanted to make everybody happy. But until that point, I'd never really come across it. And he said, I'm not really upset at you, but we're going to go with Tucker tonight. And I'm like, it's something as easy as picking up the pucks, but it's true. So, there's that's 2 ends of the spectrum, but it could be something in between. Would I be down on Line A? Would I take him out of my hockey pool if I had him as a superstar on the way up? No. I think it's law of averages. And didn't he have fucking 17 or 18 goals in a month?
Oh, yeah.
He did.
No,
I think it was 18. I think it was 18.
It is the example. He's got 25 or 26, and he's in a huge slump. So, at the other side of it is, it's like if you bet on red 12 times in a row and it came up black 12 times in a row. That at some point, just keep going. At some point, this guy's going to get one in off his head. It's just the law of averages.
TR is explaining my autobiography there. Bet on red 12 times in a row and it comes up black.
Well,
the guy next to me just cleans her too, eh? Like,
well, I usually, I've been there too.
Speaking of red and
Patrick Laine, like we said, hasn't scored in God knows how many games now, but he still has 25 on the year.
He's doing all right.
Even though, he's 55 games in, he hasn't scored in 20 or whatever the fuck it is, but he's got 25 on the year.
If he keeps playing one game, he'll get 4.
Yeah.
Not one,
probably.
4. It's just the way it goes. And that means he's had shots and all that. A guy like that to get like 80 shots in a row without scoring, it's just not happening.
But the other thing, though, that I'm looking at his numbers, and the other thing that's got a little bit off to me, more so than that, is that he's got 25 goals, but only 11 assists.
Yeah, with Cy Young Award winner. That's what they call it in a hockey dressing room, right? They say you got the Cy Young.
Yeah.
Whenever your goals are more than assists,
Yeah.
and it's very, very rare.
Yeah.
You get 2 chances to get an assist.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, so
the
think of
secondary.
if that means if you ever get more goals than assists, then you do a hell of a lot of shooting.
Meanwhile, Blake Wheeler has 11 goals and 54 assists so far this season.
At the peak of it, Joe Thornton is the best I've ever seen at that. He's the opposite Cy Young. 5 goals, and you're like, oh, he had a shitty year. Whoa, he had 80 assists.
Yeah.
Hey, he's a forward. It's fucking crazy, Thornton's numbers over the years.
Blake Wheeler's got an odd career trajectory, eh? He's one of those older guys that just keeps getting better. He's like the wine I can't afford.
Well, a lot of those big guys, if you avoid the heavy hits, it's not as like those little tough areas to go to, in my mind, aren't as tough to go to anymore because, like I said and Teddy said, the hardest thing I've ever done, and I only had to do it one game, was to go in front of the net with Chris Pronger. I remember getting here and go, whoa, or like Wade Belak I played against a lot. There you go. Not easy. But today you just couldn't do the same things. They would take their stick and they would kind of rub it up against you so they could feel your shoulder pad, because there's an area on your back, your pants come up so far and then your shoulder pads come down and there's not much in between.
Strap of suspenders, maybe.
Yeah, so you kind of get a feel. So the D come in and they put their stick in between both and get an idea, and then they'll pull it back and push it ahead, all while looking like it's not a big deal, right? Because they're not pulling it back 4 feet. They're just pulling it. Give Chris Pronger a foot to bring that back, and it's still kind of in your jersey. And back in the day, he would do that. And when you were falling forward, after he cross-checked you in the kidneys, he would slash in the ankle. And that was allowed if you went anywhere near the net. If he did that at center ice, it would be a penalty. But back in the day, they just put... And when I say back in the day, I keep fucking repeating that. And I say not to because it sounds cliche, but I'm not talking that long ago. Brooks Orpik is still a master at it.
Yeah,
so
Pronger was doing that like in 2010 before he retired. I don't think I would line up in front of Chris Pronger at a Sobeys. I think I would literally just wheel my cart back and say, after you, sir. And I just would not ever get in front of him anywhere, lining up for a bus, a Sobeys, none of it.
I would rather, like, I remember thinking about it going like, I'm less wary to fight a goon than to go in front of the net with Chris Pronger. A stick's a weapon, man. And his stick's 5.5 feet long and he's fucking coming at you with everything. You're guaranteed to be bruised. Again, who am I? I played one game against him, but, Belak a lot. Fucking guys like Todd Simpson. Oh, man. Chelios was unreal. I didn't play against him, but I watched him at the World Cup. Ash alluded to it when we were on a couple of weeks ago. But, there's just guys like that. I can go down the list. There's all kinds. Chris McAllister and Jr., are you fucking kidding me? 6'7", and would really use that a lot. Brendan Witt, oh, my fucking God. But again, that's why I often say to people, like, if you're playing... determination and focus, and it's just going to the hard areas a lot and doing those. It's not just, but those things really help. And I remember going to the Western League and I was a scorer going in, but I'm like, okay, but you're telling me that no one wants to go in front of the net with Witt? So if I do, I remember I'm wearing pads all over me. I was taking painkillers before the game started, and I mean it too. I know that people go, oh, yeah. If I found painkiller, I didn't give a fuck. I was going in front of the net, and by the end of the year in the Western League, that was 10 or 15 extra goals because you get an extra second. The D ends up respecting you, and even though, check out my fight with Belak on YouTube, I wasn't taking any shit from that guy, and he respected me more because of it. I'm not saying he was scared of me. But, even for a tough guy to know that, hey, man, if I fuck with Ryan, he's going to turn around. He's going to want to fight. He's going to keep punching. He's going to come back at me. I'll just lay up on one of these cross checks. It's subconscious, but you get that. Whereas if I go in, I'm a fucking wuss, and I go in front of the net, they're just eating the... Bird Dog fucking hated wusses. Like, He would just make your life a misery. He would make it look like mine was a misery, but he'd really respect you out there. He wouldn't say anything. But
Show up to your house and start fucking your
Hey,
shit
man.
up.
I'm just telling you, they think we're humans, right? There's a part of this that natural reaction, is to be a predator, to be, people say, well, he's greasy. I know, but a lot of that is just human, me being better than you. It's competition, and how am I going to get a one-up on you? And a lot of the times, if I know that I can whack you across the back of the leg where there's nothing and I'm not going to get any worse for it and you are, then I'm going to do it. And, that's what made those guys. That I couldn't do it, but that's what made Bird Dog Bird Dog. If you were in front of his net and you came back, he'd cross-check you in the teeth and take your teeth out. It didn't matter.
Start chewing on.
Yeah, he'd get a 5-game suspension, but would you ever do it again? No. You'd say, thank you, Mr. Bird Dog. Thank you. He made more than one person do that too, by the way.
I'm picturing like the childhood book series, like Mr. Happy, Mr. Coffee, or whatever, and it's like Mr. Bird Dog.
Call
and
me
there's
Mister. I saw him do it.
Oh, really?
Bird Dog? Oh, God. People know that story. Stories. Bird Dog would often. J.P. Dumont in Portland, we were playing the next night. He cross-checked him right in the fucking head, and he looked over him like he bent down as he was turtling on the ground. Call me Mister. Oh, yeah.
Wow. That's a power move.
It is, but that was Bird Dog.
I tried to set this up earlier, but it didn't happen. Speaking of red and black, my second intentional offside of the moment is, yeah, that's right.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's right. That's we're going there. We're forcing the segue. My second intentional offside I selected is Eugene Melnyk. Period. That's so anyhow.
Stop,
full stop. Eugene Melnyk. So anyhow, I think it was Thursday night. He had a.
It was during the Sens Leafs game, right?
Yeah, he
like
had
actually during the game.
Yeah, he was sitting with the common fans during the game, which is a funny. He had this event for all of these Sens brass and I guess investors for the new arena or whatever, talking about their dedication to the rebuild and their dedication to spend the cap next year and how he's going to turn this franchise around. And it was the most used car, the most used car salesman thing I've ever seen, mainly because he must take hockey fans in Ottawa for a bunch of rubes
He
or
must
suckers.
take drugs too. Holy fuck.
Probably. But they don't even have a first-round pick. How do you rebuild?
He doesn't know what he's saying. There's more sense out of Build a Spaceman fucking Lee than coming out of his mouth, man. I can't even believe it. I'm sorry. I'm not going into a routine or anything. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I can't. Each time I turn on the TV, I mean, it's just like, give me more Melnyk for all the wrong reasons. He's a lunatic.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I couldn't believe it's like this guy he's up there. One, the arena deal has gone so sour it's practically like a Simpsons episode storyline at this point. And two, he's talking about a rebuild and it's very likely that their lottery pick is going to land first overall for the Colorado Avalanche.
That's just,
and how do you rebuild after you potentially lose the first
especially when that
overall?
happens as well, when there's a solid chance in 2 weeks Matt Duchene's not even going to be on the fucking Senators anymore.
I truly wish all of this was happening in the mid-'80s because I would find some way to bankroll a biopic of Eugene Melnyk where he's played by Rodney Dangerfield. I would just anytime I look at him,
actually would be incredible.
Anytime I look at him, that's all I see. I just see, and anyhow, so my intentional offsides is essentially anytime Eugene Melnyk speaks.
That's
Big fan of the show, I'm told, Eugene Melnyk.
Well,
I can only assume so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know what to say. It's a total train wreck. All those guys, and by the way, I think that cab driver was a dick.
Oh, agreed.
But I think honestly, for the peace of mind of everybody, they should. I just get rid of, just clean house everybody that was involved. I just start from scratch. It's hard to do with no goddamn first round picks or nothing. I don't know what they're gonna do, but a total change of scenery needs to happen, including Melnyk. Like someone just Someone needs to revamp the whole thing.
I think at this point he's going
why
to
not
lose
move?
the team in a card game. Like,
Yeah.
that's got to be
I
on the
know.
table. Like,
Yeah.
that has got to be.
But maybe that'd be a good thing.
Right?
Maybe that'd be a good thing.
That would be a parade.
Oh,
and
definitely. He had to go on town
If
hall.
not, guys, move the fucking team, man.
It's gonna be like
Problems anyway.
when was it Dollar Bill Wirtz? Is it Wirtz? Was the guy that used to own the Blackhawks?
Wirtz, yeah,
And they
yeah.
and when he died, and they showed like a montage for him at like a memorial thing. The fans booed it.
Whoa.
Like they hated him in there.
Jesus
We haven't
Christ.
even scratched on the. Who was it with? Jesus, last year, Carlson.
Carlson,
what
Right.
unbelievable.
This is everything is chaos.
Oh, it is. It is quite
That right
literally.
there, if that- yeah.
It's a gritty slapshot reboot. If
It's
anything,
like we were just thinking. It's like I don't want to get political, but if nothing else, each day is crazy with Trump. You don't know what's going to happen. It's much like that. Like if that happened in St. Louis, that would still be the first thing you thought of in your mind. Admit it. Neither one of you, nor did I, think of that incident, the girlfriend thing, whatever the fuck it was.
It's not like even.
No.
It's not kind of even in the top 5 anymore.
not
it's
even.
but it's honestly like that
video
thing.
he did 2 months ago.
It's like that thing of like.
Oh yeah, with Mark Borowicki.
Fucking
he's
awful.
wearing one of the old he's wearing the pre-Adidas jersey.
The poor
He's
guy.
wearing it, like they've had Adidas jerseys for 2 years now, and he's sitting down in one of the old Reebok ones. He owns the team, and he doesn't even have an up-to-date jersey.
It's just.
that is just chef's
Someone
kiss.
just take the fucking microphone out of his hand. Take his cell phone away.
Put him to
Put
bed.
his handlers.
It's like the thing where was it?
He's like Miley Cyrus. He can't be tamed, man.
No, I honestly think it's this whole thing, this whole stunt that he pulled this week with getting there and out and saying all this is basically just because he saw like all hockey media was just like going off on what a fucking dumpster fire the Oilers were, and he's like, hold my fucking beer here for a minute. He was just like, oh wait, I'm not being treated as though I'm the biggest lunatic in the league. Let me just straighten that out real quick.
He's dropping acid or something. I mean it. Who would fucking? I
fuck's
don't
sakes.
mean necessarily that, but he's got to be high on something when he's doing that. I don't give a fuck what you say. The guy, he's got a lot of money. How did he get there? I don't know his education. What is it?
I
Is it just a
honestly,
fucking bumbling fool ended up having that money?
horse racing.
Because he's a bumbling fucking fool.
I think it's horse racing. I think he was really big into like prized horses.
I don't even, if I saw the guy out, different to a lot, I don't even not like him. I just, I find him amusing. I don't find him an asshole. I just find this guy is in the worst position as a hockey exec.
Oh, absolutely.
He's in the wrong. There's no way he should be running anything. The hockey, he shouldn't be running a fucking novice team.
That's actually a very good comparison to the Donald Trump situation. It's when you think it can't get any crazier, you turn on the television and you hear this grand spiel, and he's sitting like this man is he owns the team, and it flashes to him in the stands. Like he's not in a press box.
he's not.
So to me, I assume he's not invited into the press box.
If he announced tomorrow that he was going to change the logo to a flying saucer and they were going to have pink jerseys, it wouldn't surprise me any more than what he said the other day, or the video, or the fucking every time he goes in public and opens his mouth.
He's
but it
insane.
is a combo, by the way, of pharmaceutical companies and horse racing.
So he's fucking pharmaceutical. He's dipping into the pharmaceuticals, and one of the horses fucking kicked him in the head when he was pissing it off or something.
That tracks.
It's 7:10 on a Saturday evening right now, and I'm going to say this: if we're not sued or threatened by Eugene Melnyk by Tuesday,
I
I'm going
saved
to be
myself
impressed.
and I liked him.
Oh fuck!
But to be honest, I would love to have a conversation with him.
I had
just think
beers
he's
with him
a-
once.
What?
In Ottawa, I had beers with him
How the
once.
fuck did we get to this part of the conversation and you never brought that up? Jesus Christ!
I couldn't get it. Me, my dad, and my brother had beers with them once. He can play the piano, and there was a small jazz trio at this hotel bar in Ottawa, and we were sitting around.
Small jazz trio
Yeah, anyway.
with Eugene Melnyk.
Well, no, it gets
The
better.
fuck?
There's a small jazz trio, and it's the piano's sitting there, and I'm like, well, someone's got to play that piano. Like someone's got to step up here and play that piano. It's a bassist, a small drummer, and someone playing the trumpet, and someone gets up and plays the piano, and my brother looks over. He's like, I think that's Eugene Melnyk. And I'm like, no way. And he's like, no. And then, this is just before the era of smartphones, so we didn't have any way to look up a photo of Eugene Melnyk. So we were, we're a couple, and this is a way too classy of an establishment for like 3 Newfoundlanders to be pounding them back like we were. So after about 5 or 6 beers, my brother gets up and he's like, fuck it, I'm asking him. And he goes over in between songs and he goes, "Are you Eugene Melnyk?" He doesn't say like, "Excuse me" or anything like that. He goes, "Are you Eugene Melnyk?"
That was probably normal though to
He
Eugene.
puts the hand out. Well, this is before Ottawa went completely fucking bonkers.
This is like
yeah,
not,
but he was still bonkers.
Yeah, he puts the hand out, shakes hands. He comes over, he talks to me, Dad, and my brother. Finds out we're going to a game. Says he'd come and visit us at our seats, which I will add, he did.
What?
Yeah, he came up in the middle between the two periods.
This should have been your lead story.
I'm sorry, I got
happened next?
carried away.
What happened next?
He
What are you going to
tricked
tell
us.
me? He fucking broke out and played the cymbals?
No, but he played Piano Man.
He played Piano Man by
on
Billy Joel?
On the piano. And anyhow, he chirped us because when he came to our seats, we were all in Leafs jerseys. And my dad, I guess, had a few too many. So he's like, "Who the fuck was that?" After he
had met him the night before.
Yeah, he was like, "Who the fuck was that?" Anyway, the fun story was, I think at that point he was actually a billionaire, and I think the fun there's a photo somewhere of my dad and Eugene Melnyk at that piano. I'll have to dig it up. At that
You
piano,
have to dig it up, and we
I'll
have to put it
dig
on
up.
our Instagram.
At that piano, and I think Eugene Melnyk took my dad's hat, and he's wearing my dad's hat. So
That is just
So
bonkers.
years when I was when I was 19.
How did we get that far in before you brought up that you
I
had
had
amazing.
I had to dunk on him before I
Yeah.
before I told the story of having beers with him. My brother
Jesus Christ.
he tried to beat
known
my
that you
brother.
actually like knew the guy and he probably was going to listen, we might have dialed
No,
back
what's
a little
next?
bit.
Are you your cousin? Like, what the fuck?
No, he tried to beat my brother at a chugging race, but my brother was a rugby player, and he fucking didn't stand a chance.
Fuck's sakes.
Yeah.
That's
The boys, I got to take off. And you guys can keep going. But the last thing I'm going to say, you want my old baby of the week?
Yeah.
It's that fucking picture you pick for Colby Armstrong. What in the fuck is that? It's like, I was like, is he trying to get someone to suck him off? Like, what is the picture?
it is a picture from the Winter Classic.
Winter Classic.
And it
God.
was, they did a team picture, and just before the picture got taken, Colby did a power slide in front of the team, and so like he's right in front of Sid Crosby in that picture, just like bombing into it.
Yes,
And
but that context is not at all in the picture.
Which is
he
what
looks
I
like
think-
a fucking water buffalo can't get up who
yeah.
wants his pussy eaten. I mean, that's what it looks like.
Okay.
I don't know, I don't know where you're going with the water buffalo in that last comment, but I think they were so
Well,
eager.
look at the
They were
pose.
so eager to trade Colby from that team, as they forgot they just
I was
tried
afraid to fucking include him in the Twitter. I put my own picture. You got that, or you got him skating around in a classic fucking uniform.
Listen,
Or,
that
hey,
is a classic uniform.
even if he was
Here's the
stuffing
thing.
his head with popcorn, it's better than that.
Here's the thing: if you Google image search Colby Armstrong Winter Classic, which is how I was looking to pull a picture, that is the first picture that comes up. And when I saw it, I was like, well, I gotta go with that one because it's just so fucking ridiculous.
I suppose. Well, there's the answer. You
There you
gave
go.
me the answer.
It's just
It's so good. You've got the power to do as you please because I'm only 1/3 of this trio.
Power
I
of the
found that
internet, and we
I wasn't
land on
all
that.
upset. I found it really funny.
and that's all I wanted it to be, something really funny. And I guess
Fair
that
enough.
does
It's
spoil.
still my intentional offsides of the week, or my old baby, was it?
which-
No, it's my intentional offsides of the week.
Oh no!
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, this also kind of spoils the fact that we are recording out of sequence, and we've already been talking to Colby before.
Well, how did that spoil it?
Because you said you're leaving now. You got your coat on, your
We can
backpack.
cut this into the back
It's
nine.
done
Oh,
now.
yeah.
So
I
we
did
are going
say
to go.
that.
We did.
Yeah.
We did talk to Colby about an hour ago, and
For a long time, I might add.
So now we will throw to that, and we'll be back in. I guess me and Charles to say goodbye after you listen to us have a chat with Colby Armstrong.
Penny Posh, maternity wear reimagined, breaking the barriers of style, fit, and comfort that often leave mothers-to-be uninspired in their new wardrobe. Penny Posh's designs have reinvented a clothing category often seen as disposable, temporary, and unattractive. Well, not with Penny Posh. Check it out. A continuous fit maternity collection from bump to bundle and beyond. You can check them out on Twitter at Penny_Posh, on Instagram at PennyPosh_maternity, and of course on their website, www.pennyposhdesigns.com. Penny Posh Designs, maternity wear reimagined. Ladies and gentlemen, this week we have my good friend and all-round great hockey player and good guy, former Penguin, Thrasher, Leaf, Hab, Rebel, Laker, and midget AAA Saskatoon contact, which we will get into in a little bit. Colby Armstrong, good to have you, buddy. How are you?
Hey, boys. Appreciate you guys having me on. Congrats on the pod, and good job. I listened to a couple.
Oh, wow. Thanks, man. Thank you so much.
We appreciate that, good buddy.
I had to listen to Aaron Asham. TR, I had to listen to Aaron Asham. I had to listen to him. And I had to listen to my boy Kenny Reed. Kenny Reed's a beauty, and I saw he did the first one, so I'm sure that's a big honor for him. He probably loved it. So.
He's a great dude, as you know. Now you and you kind of fit both roles. You're a lot like Ash and a lot like Ken, being the hockey analyst now, I guess you could say. Yeah, of course you could say. And former Rebel and Penguin, and not only hockey player, but there are some similarities. I don't think anybody will ever come close to actually being Ash, being such an energetic, great hockey player, great guy. But you know, Ash got stories.
You know what? I got a story for you about Ash. Actually, I never really knew Ash when I was at camp. For the Rebels, when I was at camp for the Rebels, I remember he was. You remember when they didn't have refs at the games? You know, at camp when you played your inter squad games, it was like one of the veteran guys would go out there in a tracksuit and kind of referee.
Yeah,
and set up
it was a circus.
One step above a phys ed teacher.
There was like 17 guys trying out for one tough guy role, and they'd all fight the same game. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, like I remember Ash. So Ash was like one of the refs. And I was an up-and-coming guy, but I didn't know about him, and I knew about what he did in junior and like his numbers and how good he was, and obviously when I finally got to the NHL to be able to play against him. But I remember talking to Sid after he came to the Penguins about Asham, and he probably paid him one of the best compliments you could pay a hockey player when he said, "Aaron Asham, that's a hockey player." Wow. That's how he described him, just like that. I was like, wow, yeah, what a badass.
I've often thought, Ash was born to be a hockey player. He really was. So that's and he told us a story about Sid, and every time I hear a story about Sid, it's classy but it's simple. Yeah. It's summed up in 2 or 3 words, which is what. This is going to be down the line. I don't know whether to start with that or to pick up or with Red Deer. First of all, I guess the fact that you just mentioned Sid the Kid. I mean,
Sid's a grown-ass man now.
Yeah, it's true. He'll always be Sid the Kid to me. Yeah. But, you were in there with Mario Lemieux as well. Like, you were in a dressing room. Am I wrong? You came in. Lemieux was still playing in 05-06, right? I haven't done my research. This is all in my head.
When I came in, he was on the team still, but he had
it's on LTIR,
I think. Stepped aside. So I actually never got to play an actual real game with him. I believe I played a couple preseason games, but I got to skate on a line with him at camp and stuff. I mean, it was crazy. Like talk about not knowing what to do with yourself during actual, scrimmages in camp or practices. I had the puck, and I literally would stop skating and be like, "Where's Mario? Where's Mario? I got to pass it to him. He's under." Actually, you want to hear a good Mario story? I was at camp. I was like 18 years old. I looked like one of the trainer's kids because I was so skinny.
Totally. Yeah.
And I was like, we were doing the half moon shooting at the end of one of the practices, and Mario is just like, guy passes it out of the corner, half moon, take a shot. He just takes a shot. It goes in. Not a hard shot. He was like putting it through like the goalie's arms and stuff in like places that I don't know. I don't even know if he meant to do it or if he's just
challenging himself.
After the third one in a row, no screen, nothing. I go up to him. I'm like, "Excuse me, Mr. Mario Lemieux, how do you do that? Like, what do you do to score from here?" I'm like, "NHL goalies, He's like, "Well, kid, I first I take the pass." He goes, "Then I take a quick look. And then I shoot it."
Okay.
I was like, okay, yeah, that sounds like a good assessment of what you do there. Yeah, thanks for the advice.
He was the owner of the team at this point, was he not?
Yeah, he was.
I got to think he's like, holy shit, these kids coming into camp this year, they're asking me how to shoot a puck. Like, who was doing the scouting for this team? Like, you probably got someone fired for that question.
it's how you score. It's how you score from there without like any screen or not even like a hard shot. Like, what's he doing that's different than anyone else? I don't know.
I don't know. That guy's got like 300 goals behind the net.
Yeah.
Okay,
I figured it was worth a shot asking him.
Hey, that was one of, guys, I don't know if I told you, but I played against him. I say I played. I was grocery stick. I didn't get one shift. But he had 4 goals. It was wild. He came back. Yeah, it was one of his comebacks, and it was his last game, at least at that time, in Montreal. That would have been the year I went to Red Deer, 96, 97. So it was the start of 97. And he had 4. It was just everything slowed to his pace. Like, no one wanted to go close to him. He had such good patience. So, normally you would try to angle a guy off and like rub him out or go close. But everybody was scared to do that because he had such a long reach. And it looked even longer. You'd know better than me, but I remember being mesmerized. There was only so many guys. Bure with his speed. Gretzky wasn't even mesmerizing. You just got to appreciate where he went on the ice and everything. And of course, he was mesmerizing. I'm just saying, in my experience.
But Mario too, TR, like you could probably say, because you had a good, probably best seat in the house to watch him, but he's a guy that didn't look like he didn't look like he was going fast. Like when I was skating up the ice, you watch him skating up the ice, and at times he didn't look like he was going that fast because he was just like a big-bodied guy, and he had like, I don't know, he's not like these little guys now that are just like they're flying,
Yeah.
But when he passes you, he is flying. So like a big guy with that reach, those hands, and he's actually deceivingly like flying by you. He was like the one player in like today's game that I would love to see what he would have done in his prime, like healthy with his size and skill.
Can you imagine
skating ability?
Look at his top 10 goals even. And there's so many. You could pick 10 of 100. But, like, when you look at any of those highlight packages, when he's going around Bork, when he's splitting the D on Minnesota and on Toronto, he's getting hooked, boys. He's getting hooked. He's getting slashed.
All the time. They were hanging
he
off
used to complain about it. And I remember thinking, you know what, maybe there's something to what he's saying. People were hanging off of him.
He was the first advocate for 4-on-4. He wanted the league to go permanent 4-on-4. And I think he called it a garage league at the time because of the clutching and grabbing was slowing down the game. And it's unfortunate they kind of bought in after that brief lockout, and that's when they started calling all the grabs, calling all the hooks, like fellas like Brian McCabe weren't allowed to just latch on to you. But Mario was just in the sunset of his career. He kind of didn't get to go carte blanche on the league when they finally...
Which is kind of good, because look at his numbers when they were like that with him. Like, just imagine.
Imagine no red line. They also took out the fucking red line.
Right. That's true.
Imagine him and Gretz with no red line guys. Like I always say, it's relativity.
Oh, I know.
I know the goalies didn't have as much on, and people say they were weaker, which is probably true. But if I get 199 points and Gretz gets 215 or whatever, and the next guy gets 110, that's fucking insane. It would be like someone today getting 130, 140. Like it's in relativity to me. I don't. It's like Babe Ruth hitting 60 home runs, and the next guy at 9 is more impressive to me than doing roids and doing 75, whether you're for it or against it. I don't give a fuck who you are. Babe Ruth knocked out 60 and more than the whole league.
Yeah, Babe Ruth knocked out 60 looking like my dad getting ready for vacation, too, by the way. Like, pretty much. Like,
that's why he's an unbelievable athlete.
It's literally like, I can picture him in those videos. Like, it's like that's a man that wears socks with sandals right there. Like,
100%. I just love the whole David Wells thing where, like, 60 years after Ruth died, Dave Wells is like smoking cigars on the fucking pitcher's mound being like, Babe Ruth did it, I can do it too.
Gotta be guys like that. I want baseball to keep those guys in. Fuck it. I want 2 or 3 guys each year to have success. Sabathia, keep going. Whatever you got to do. Throw the fucking grease ball. Whatever you got to do. I love watching guys like that, man. It's just amazing. Which brings me right to my next question. Which, not really. But so we got to go back to Red Deer here. And first of all, where did you go in the Bantam draft? We can even ease into Saskatoon. You're Saskatoon, you're Byron Briskeyville. Boys, remember I told you last episode? So we watched last episode, or these guys did, a concussion that I got in junior. It was a pretty bad hit. Who stuck in for me? And guys, this guy, remember I told you he wasn't a fighter? Byron Briskey, but he was a good guy, a great leader in the room. So he's from Saskatoon, a few years older than Colby. But that's when I first actually heard of Colby. Yeah. Because I was coming into Red Deer as you, I believe, were the first round pick, or were you the second round pick? You were a pick.
No, I was late. I was a 6th rounder. Okay. I got drafted mid 6th round, TR. Yeah, but the Briskies, I still know them. Yeah, I see them when I go home in the summers and stuff. They're still kicking around. Shannon and Byron, and They
Yeah.
do some financial services now and banking services, I know, for a bunch of high-end clients and stuff. So they're doing pretty well. But you know what? When I got drafted in the 6th round, you know, it was the coolest thing ever. I got a pair of Red Deer Rebel gloves. They sent it to me.
Wow.
nice.
Which I thought was awesome. You know, that's cool. But I got a VHS tape of a highlight tape from your season there when you came to the Rebels. And I remember thinking you were the coolest guy ever. It was the coolest highlight tape. I swear to God, I watched it like every day, like TR playing the guitar. TR, like
I would score, boys. I would do these celebrations. I told you we'll get into next time.
You did like the moonwalk.
I was doing it all.
Wow.
That was the year. And then they'd announce 3 stars. So I would come out, and me and Ash would try to outdo each other, and BJ Young, R.I.P. BJ. So, and we would usually get a star. So I came out, and that's where the fucking hot stick came from. And then Jose Theodore, this is Jeff Merrick will tell you all about this. And Colby, if you haven't heard the story, ask Jeff about it. So I'm watching the highlights.
I will.
I'm watching the highlights. That's when I first started taking Tyson, BJ's son, and BJ had just died a few years before, and I started taking Tyson to hockey. So we come home one day, and I'm looking at the highlights, and Ovechkin goes down and they're calling it the hot stick. And I'm going, what the fuck? That's my move. But then I thought about it. Jose Theodore was there. Sure, boys. Not 10 minutes later, the phone rang, and it was Jeff Merrick. He said, I'm working for Hockey Night in Canada at the time in the satellite radio. And they took me to Toronto, and I went up and had an interview, and that's how I really got to know Jeff. But he used to go, I guess, or knew of, or used to go to WHL games. And like Colby is saying, like we would try to outdo each other, and we had the toughest team. There was nobody even close to out tough. So we could do whatever we wanted. I was playing the guitar, the banjo after goals. I was putting out the fishing rod. I was doing the canoe. It was comical.
Did you ever haul on a pair of sunglasses for goal selling?
No,
like,
I
tuck
did
them down in your gloves and then just put on a pair of sunglasses?
No, I grabbed it. Well, the most outlandish that lived on was the hot stick, and that's still alive.
Ovi ever send you a gift for that?
You know, I put it in my book, but I mean, you know, that's not the top of the hockey world news. I talk about it. Anybody in the know knows that it was my fucking move. And had I just, maybe if I'd worked a little harder, But anyway, it became a fucking folk story instead of a real story, but that's it. But what I was going to ask.
Boy,
go ahead.
it was all over the VHS tape, though. Like all the great goals, like DJ Young, Greg Schmidt, Terry Ryan, Aaron Ashton. There was like a billion fights, like just kicking ass. It was the best video ever. Then it's like TR. He comes in. He's like he's doing the weather on like the low.
Yeah,
like I'm coming in. I'm taking over the weather. I'm taking over
in the weather station.
I'm like, oh.
Or the news station.
Yeah.
Colby, do you still have that VHS? Because I have got to see that.
Boys,
I swear to God, I still have it. My mom has it.
Oh,
it's somewhere.
man.
Yeah, I'd love to see that again. I had it for years, and then I can't find it at home. I'd even record it now onto a DVD or something.
Okay, speaking of that VHS, I did some digging. I did a little bit of research, and I got to ask you about your silver screen time. Do you remember the Wilkes-Barre Scranton DVD box set that you were just all over?
Yeah, that one.
I know, like at the time, boys, there wasn't really the internet or YouTube. It was just, I don't know if the internet was just starting, but I you know how you don't think about stuff like living forever, but now my kid, thank goodness to YouTube, can go on and watch me just being a complete donkey when I was 19 years old playing in the American League.
I tell you, I still get a kick out of it. The whole thing went viral, like during your tenure in the Penguins, and I still get a kick out of how excited you were to get McDonald's in one of those videos. Oh yeah, you were.
Buddy, I was like 175, 80 pounds at the time, and I couldn't put on weight. And so they're like,
you had a baby face too, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they're like, you need to up your calories. And I'm like, all right. They're like, you can just go get, like, if you need something to eat, like, have a milkshake from McDonald's. Like, no big deal. But I just took it as green light McDonald's, and I was all fired up. As soon as they videotape me like a nutritionist thing, and then, like, right when we leave, I go straight to the McDonald's drive-thru.
Yeah, they couldn't even get the rights for the McDonald's, so it's all censored out as Colby's driving through.
I know. I remember talking to a guy the other day. I was talking to a guy that I played with the other day, and he's like, I'll never forget, like, first time I've ever seen, like, a pro hockey player walk into the dressing room with, like, a breakfast from McDonald's bags. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't know any better. I was coming out of junior. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, we ate Subway every day.
And boys, Red Deer Jr., even though the boys won the Memorial Cup, I'll get to that in a second. Red Deer was totally different to me, Colby. I played my first 3 years junior in Tri-City. And We had we had a nutritionist. We could never ever go to the bar because you got to be 21, so it would force us like once a week we'd hang out. I remember getting like shit faced twice a year. We'd have a few, but Red Deer was different. Mort's was right there. Everybody went there. No one gave a fuck, and the 18 to drink. So and then they'd let the 16, 17-year-olds in if you played for the Rebels. So we're hanging out at bars. There's much more involvement in the community. Tri-City, they loved us now, the people that did, but 150,000 people, and still a lot of them don't know haven't heard of hockey, right? You got 150,000, maybe Kennewick, Richland, Pasco, but Red Deer, they're all about the Rebels. It's all, and they get a lot of fans.
Yeah.
You guys won the Mem Cup like that. To me, Red Deer was an experience like the AHL would be. Tri-City was a bit fantastical. It felt like I was in prep school or something. Playing against these East teams was... It's just two different kind of ways to approach it. But, you guys, Colby, and I was crying when I watched you guys win the Memorial Cup. I felt like we had part of it because we were guys, so the Rebels came in about 91, 92 maybe, and in 96, 97 is where I went back there, and I played the final 16 games, and then I played the playoffs, and we lost in 7, I believe, in the East final. So we had the best team with an actual chance in Red Deer's history, and we went the furthest. And, myself, Ash, and BJ just had incredible playoffs. And Justin Mappletoft came in. He played a few games for us that year. So, and he was the common denominator. Yeah, and so I kept in touch with everybody from Carter Sears to Doug Hobson at the time, and Rick Carrier had moved on, but we were all still really, involved in Red Deer. And, I ended up marrying Danielle, and I never really was too far removed. But you guys won it. And it really gave me chills, and I believe maybe this is the only Red Deer team to win it. Is it?
Yeah.
So Colby,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, and I remember your video though, and I was like, wow, this team's so good. And following it, I was like, oh my goodness. I obviously got to know Carter. My dad used to play with Carter when they were younger, playing senior hockey and stuff. But
wow, I didn't know that.
That's kind of the connection. Yeah, up at Powell River, BC, they used to play together up there. But they. Anyways, after watching you guys, and then by the time I eventually got there, I think you guys were like the last great hope for the Rebels. Like your year there, and your guys' run was kind of like, stuff you dream about in junior to try to get that chance to play in the final or play to get to the Memorial Cup. And you guys had such a solid, deep team that when Sutter bought the team and took over, we came in there, and all of a sudden, within like 2 years, we were just dominating the league. But it was incredible. It was an awesome experience. I loved it. It was the best years of my life, honestly. And Red Deer, like you said, TR, is unreal. Like, great travel, great perfect-sized city. They loved hockey. They loved the Rebels there. They treated us great. We did tons of stuff in the community and got to know, like, almost everybody. It was like you're from that town your whole life almost. It was a great place to play. I was lucky to play there my entire career.
It really is. It reminds me. It's like I'm really fortunate of playing in great places. Even though I didn't play a lot in Montreal, it's a great spot. I was telling the boys, people in Montreal, you hear the booze, birds, and stuff, and you think they're negative. I still go there and get meals free. Like I played on the Canadians. It's like that in Red Deer on a smaller level. If you just say that you played on the Red, oh really? You played for okay. Let's go, kids. Let's get a picture. It goes up on the wall, at Denny's or something. They really, really treat you well.
Oh, wow.
I go back now, guys, and still, you free alumni to go to the games. They give you free food, put you up in a box. They actually flew us back. Not every team does this. And this will lead me to my next story. Colby and I go back a couple years ago. Now, he was working it, but the Memorial Cup, you know where I'm going with this fucking one. This is unbelievable. I was telling the boys before it started, I kind of alluded to it, but... So the Memorial Cup's going on in Red Deer a couple years ago. That's where I first saw Mitch Marner play. I couldn't believe what I saw. So they flew back a bunch of us. Myself, Aaron Asham, who was our guest a couple weeks ago, for those that haven't listened. We had Greg Schmidt. I can go down the list. Without doing that, they're nice enough to bring back a bunch of ex-guys that played there, especially off the team, like he said, 96, 97, and the Memorial Cup team, because, those were very successful teams. So we go back. They took care of everything. Which is very classy, obviously. So we go out to the bar, and it was about, I don't know, our good buddy Devin Francon is there, and I was leaving. I don't know when I'm going to be back in Red Deer because my wife still goes back, and my daughter and my stepson, but I really work so much. It's a long way. So I didn't know when I was going to go back. So I didn't know when I would see Devin Francon. When I do go back, it's kind of a family thing. So Frankie says, let's go back to my place. It's about, 11, 12 o'clock, and we're like, okay, we can either stay at the bar and just mingle with people we don't know, or let's go back and see Frankie for a bit. So we go back to Frankie's, and we're having a few beers upstairs. Really, nothing more. We're having a chat. I remember just going to try to find a stereo. It was really low key. All of a fucking sudden. Now, Colby, do you want to say what happened? I mean,
Yeah, I'll say what happens because. So first of all, boys, we're in his garage. Like he has a beautiful big like barn-like garage, and what Devin did is Frankie made like a loft up there. It was big, it was awesome. There's couches, lazy boys, there's beer fridges, there's a TV. We're like watching highlights. It was awesome. Just having laughs. You know, put on a clinic. It was great times. There's probably like 10 of us up there. I'm sitting in this lazy boy chair. All of a sudden, like TR and Ash are on the other side, like. Cam Ondrick's there, another guy I played ex-goalie for the Rebels, Frankie, his brother, a few other guys, a producer that works with me that I brought over for beers.
I had a couple buddies, Curtis or Axel Foley, shout out to him, and Trevor Bowering. They came up, a couple of Newfoundlanders. Yeah, keep going.
Yeah, they were up there. Yeah, so we had a good like 10 guys up on this loft. All of a sudden I'm sitting in the chair, and it's like, I don't know how to explain it. Like the movie Batman, when that guy's like running down the football field, and the ground's just falling out of the way.
Oh, fuck, boys.
I look up and I just see the thing just collapses, and it's slowly coming towards me, like it's in slow motion. I'm sitting in a lazy boy chair, no joke. All these guys are down, and everything we fall like 12 feet out of the sky.
Out of the sky. Boys, the whole fucking floor caved in. And there was cars underneath us and like fucking hockey sticks coming up through. I'm like, man. And we looked around. I remember when it landed, I kind of surfed off of it. Like that's how, total accident. I don't mean it.
You're a stunt man. Like, that came naturally to you. You're a stunt man.
Just the way the floor landed, and it was, and I looked around. And he's right. Like there was a bit of shaking at first because I guess it was giving way, and we didn't know. Honestly, my first instinct is that having been in California, been in an earthquake. There's an earthquake happening, and then the whole fucking thing fell through. I mean, did he have he was a refurbished Cadillac underneath us, or I remember there being an old school.
Oh yeah, there was a rebuilt sick muscle car, but the thing landed and didn't touch the car. It was weird, but I was underneath a bunch of wood.
Yeah,
I remember. I think Ondrick had a beer fridge on him.
Yeah, man.
Up, and then my producer landed on his feet, 2-fisting beers over top of me. He landed like a cat on his feet.
Wow.
No one got hurt. Nothing
I can't believe nobody got hurt from it.
One guy had his shirt ripped. I know, we're underneath lumber and there's splinters everywhere. We just got up and got out of there.
It was incredible. Not only did we get up and get out of there, so we get up. Oh, well, I think I'm going to shut her down. You took off with your producer. I took off to go back to wherever the fuck we went. And Frankie was left there with this was a fucking mess, but it was a great time. I still give him shit for it. And it was fucking shoddy fucking carpentry.
I just love that you guys all got out of it. It wasn't like a situation where you were like, holy shit, we just survived that. No one got hurt. Let's fucking keep going. It's like, no, we're going to cut our losses and get the fuck out of here.
Nobody cleaned up a thing.
I'm not cleaning up that mess, you know?
I know. Well,
he's coming outside with a broom and everyone's
I guess
just
he knew the
scattered.
consequences when we went up there. No, that's fantastic.
But I was fired up, TR. I was fired up because I hadn't really boozed with you or did it like a TR experience. So when I got up there, it was Ash was in there, he's loving it. You were just giving her I would just sit back loving it. I was laughing and shit, and then all of a sudden, all hell broke loose. It was going to be the greatest night ever. And then all of a sudden, we just fell out of the sky.
We fell out of the sky. I know. We had tunes lined up. It was just a bunch of buddies.
Yeah.
We had tunes lined up. We had a guitar and everything set up downstairs. This was going to be a night. Obviously, it couldn't be after that. And Frankie had to clean it up on his own.
Well, I've heard of blowing the roof off a place, but not tearing the floor down.
But it made it memorable
for the day.
That's what.
So thanks, Josh. You can get the fuck out now. That's good. You know where the door is. Fuck up.
Colby, I got a question for you. So
sure.
I'm going somewhere with this. In 05-06, you come up. Now, you played half that year in Wilkes-Barre, right?
Yeah, I played up until pretty much the new year, a few days before New Year's Day.
So then you come up at that time, you finish with 40 points. That's...
Yeah.
So the question I was going to ask is, because you can do a lot of things, what kind of player do you see yourself as? Because that's usually 40 points in 49, 47 games.
47 games.
I mean, guys, for
plus
a rookie,
15 too.
That's the weird, that usually takes a few years. So clearly the guy can put the puck in the net, but he can also fight. We've said, and by the way, your 16-year-old year, I'm looking at 122 minutes. But you know, Colby can play the PK. He can play the power play. He can. So how do you see yourself?
Yeah, I kind of see myself, and I learned this, I guess, just all through it. But then, especially when I got to junior with Brent Sutter, just be like a good all-around player. And I thought I was like a pretty good guy at, you know, I could fill in on the first line for a stint, or I could, you know, if we, you know, on a good team, I could play fourth line, no problem, and play a certain role. But I think just with my game and my skill set, I could kind of, you know, move around and be like one of those complementary players to good players, and also be a good third line role guy as well. So, you know, I think it worked out for me that you know, through my career, and I wish it lasted a little longer, but through my career, being able to you know, find a spot regardless of what was open, and they could put me there and I could succeed. And I think it was just because I was willing to get my nose dirty. For one, I had like a reckless style to my play, but I could also make plays and think the game with good players as well. So, I don't know, I guess like a complimentary player, I would say I would think of myself as on every line. I think I was you know, I could play left wing or right wing, and easily moved around in lineups. And
that's,
you know,
key.
I think that's, you know,
being left wing or right wing. A lot of people don't like taking that. Yeah, a lot of people don't like taking that backhand pass breaking out, right? And it's not talked about a lot. Yeah, I especially, you know what? You know when I found that the fucking hardest? When I got to the NHL, I didn't find it a problem in junior, and Mark Recchi was passing it to me. Well, how about I've talked about it before, boys. How fucking, they're like bullets.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to do this drill. I can't take it. And I don't even, so if I knew Mark Recchi, I swear to fuck, was on my line, boys, I'd go with a fucking almost a straight stick like Crosby uses, and the other ones I'd have a coffee at the time with the hook. But I found that in the NHL, hard to get used to. All right, in the minors, you got Cheech Nazardine breaking you out.
I played with him too. I played with Rex and Cheech.
Great guys. Hey, we were just talking about Alan Nazardine. For those who don't know, we lovingly call him Cheech. I played with him in Fredericton for a year. It was so much fun, But he scored his only
NHL. He was our
NHL.
captain when I was in Wilkes-Barre. He was our captain. We called him up a bunch of stuff. He was rock solid.
You know, he scored one goal. And do you know how he got his goal?
I think Colby was on the ice for that one goal, weren't you?
I don't even know. I can't remember, but my dad fancied him as Elaine's agent. My dad loved Naz. He was like, I'm his agent. This guy's a player. I love this guy. I mean, he was ugly doing it, but he got her done. Like, he went the guy that just got it done.
I mean, he was, like I said, in Freddie, he just did everything. He wasn't much of a scorer. I would never put that on. But he got one NHL goal. It was with 0.1 seconds left from Crosby. For the win, wasn't it? For the win, Chuck?
Yeah, it was literally 0.1 second left on the board in Montreal, like going into the third period. And Sid just dishes it like in a wide open space in front of the net, from behind the net. And out of, like, I want to say off the top rope, Nazardine is just there and he buries it. And I actually remember watching this. It was like my last year of high school, and I remember we stole a bunch of little treat bottles and had a small party.
For Alan Nazardine?
Yeah, well, yeah, not for Alan Nazardine, but I remember just, they were like, why are they going upstairs? It's the end of the period. And I can remember, like, seeing that screen grab.
It wasn't the end of the game, it was the end of the period?
Just the end of the second period.
Wow,
and they had the clock there, and it's like 0.1 second, and the puck is in there, and it's like, wow.
And that was his only snipe.
That was the only, if you're going to score,
fucking
that's a
happy for
big
him
story
that's how he
to
scored.
have.
Yeah, he's got...
yeah, that guy's the best guy. He's a great captain. He's a great teammate. I'm glad I'm seeing him doing so good coaching now. He's an awesome guy.
Doesn't surprise me one bit.
Yeah, he's we were looking it up. The boys were talking about it before we had you on the phone, and so I was looking it up, and yeah, he's like the all-time Wilkes-Barre Scranton postseason games leader and stuff. He's got like 57 games with them in the postseason. He's got a pile of stuff through, and then in 71, I think it is, NHL games, he's got that 1.1 second left goal.
0.1 second goal.
Fantastic.
So Colby,
what a star.
So Colby, the trade deadline's coming up now, and you've gone from, I guess, checking your phone to see if you've been traded to checking your phone as a hockey panelist. I guess you're going to be on the Sportsnet of some capacity. But for those of you who might not remember, you were not only traded at the trade deadline, you were the big trade at the trade deadline. You were the piece going the other way in the Hossa trade, which later became the Pascal Dupuis trade because of his longevity there. What was that like, getting that phone call?
Yeah, it was crazy, actually. But We played on the island against the Islanders that day on the day of the trade deadline. Which, now that I think about it, we probably should have games on trade deadline day. Just
fair.
Make it more of an event, make it more of a thing. But I was literally pregame napping. I didn't think I was going to get traded. Maybe I'm naive and I was young and I didn't think anything of it. But Sid and I were roommates on the road, so he was out with an injury at the time. So when I rolled in the hotel, I had my own room, which I thought, TR, you can say this. I think that's kind of weird. Like, I got in there and I'm like, I wheel into my room and I'm like, hey, when you start kind of thinking about stuff, I was like, hey, why do I have my own room? You think they'd stuff me with some other, young guy or some other guy and give, one of the older veteran guys, his own room, that were close to getting their own room kind of thing? But they let me have my own room, so I was like, okay, maybe. I don't know why. Maybe they're just being nice to me. So, and I don't know, the backstory of the trade at all. To talk to Ray Shiro, who was our GM at the time, and see really, how it went down. But
I'll call him up.
I was pregame napping. I sleep from 2 to 4. That was kind of my routine. Good 2-hour shutdown. God, I miss those days. And anyways, at 3 o'clock, my phone just started my old flip phone just started buzzing off.
That's a bad sign.
I'm like, what the heck? Yeah, I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, what's going on? It was my mom. I'm like, hello? And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, pre-game napping, Mom. I have a game tonight, giving her shit, kind of. And she was like, oh, you didn't know? I'm like, did I get traded? She's like, yep.
Oh, your mom broke the trade.
Oh.
Yeah, my mom saw it on TV.
Wow.
My mom saw it on TV and called me to tell me not to tell me I got traded. I think she probably thought I knew already. Because you don't know how this stuff works.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I found out I got traded to the Thrashers, and I was just like, oh my God, what a joke! Because we were literally just starting to get good. We were literally just starting to get good, though, boys. We had Crosby, Malkin, Saul,
Oh, I know.
We had this really good team. We went from being last place in the league to being this team that was okay, we're I think we were first place in our conference at the time. We're battling Montreal at least at the time. So I kind of didn't expect anything to happen, and then it was me, Eric Christensen, Angelo Esposito, and a first-round pick for Dupuis and Hossa coming back the other way.
I remember that.
Yeah, kind of. It rocked my world pretty good because I'd never been traded before, and and then going from where all eyes were on every night was playing. When you play with guys like that, like Crosby, and everywhere you go, it's the bright lights are on and everyone's coming to watch Crosby. You kind of feel like you're along for the ride, you're his Robin to the Batman. You kind of get a little piece of the action in the spotlight a little bit. Because everybody's tuning in to watch the kid play and get a chance to impress, and it always was exciting. Everywhere we went and played, it was unbelievable. So, to now go to the Thrashers and play was kind of I was just like, oh my God, what are we gonna do here? And then I got there, I was just like, oh my God, what the hell is this?
Welcome to Hotlanta. Well, I'll tell you where I was that day. That day you got traded, I opened up my post office box in Wabush, Labrador, and inside. So just before that trade deadline that year, you guys played an outdoor game known as the Winter Classic. It's kind of a big deal now. Tire companies are involved, for those who aren't familiar. And I remember watching that, and I said, whoever scores the first goal, that's who I'm putting on the back of this baby blue jersey. And it was you, in case you might have forgotten.
I'm sure he did.
I don't know. You're a busy man, but I don't know, 30-odd seconds or something into the game. I said, okay, well, I guess, when they sell these things.
I'll tell you exactly what it was. I'm pretty sure it was 21 seconds exactly into the game. And it was the first ever Winter Classic. So now whenever there's a Winter Classic, I watch the first 21 seconds and I just brag on Twitter about how no one could break my fast.
I'm the same way at the draft.
It's the only record I have ever. I don't even know if it is a record, but it's the only record I have right now. So I gloat about it and brag about it.
And inside that post office box is my number 20 Colby Armstrong jersey. I get home, I make a bite to eat, I haul it on, and my phone buzzes, and it's my brother. And he's like, well, you can never wear that. You can never wear that now. It's like, throw that one in the closet.
No way.
Oh, yeah, he was grilling me. He told me to go Malkin. He told me to go 71. He's not going anywhere. I think he's still hanging around in Pittsburgh now. Not sure. Had to look it up. But anyhow, at the time I was in a band and we played around the province quite a bit. So I said, well, I'll show him. We got booked a handful of art center gigs, and every concert I played all throughout the province, I was like, I'm wearing that big, like really bright, unsightly baby blue jersey on stage tonight. And even people after the show.
That's a sad story, man. I'll go this far as to say you probably cursed me, bud.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was actually going to ask you to reimburse me for that. If you had, that's where I was going with this. If you didn't mind, or at least
that's a vintage throwback. Now that's a vintage throwback.
Yeah. And actually, my
that's
brother,
why like all the pictures that we've had, like the one of the pictures we threw up on the Instagram was Charles wearing it on stage when he's like fucking 18 or whatever it was. Then the other one was I found this crazy picture of you sliding in front of the team photo. And so,
being a donkey. You know what? That was a cool game for me too, and obviously like a cool game because of the first ever outside game, Winter Classic game. I know they had the Heritage Classic game before that with Montreal and Edmonton, I believe, but it was a kind of a cool game. Now that I have kids, I have 4 kids. My son plays hockey. My oldest, he's 8 years old, and he'll go on like YouTube and look up stuff, and he sees that, clips from that. And I was on a line, like for him to see like the Penguins now and Crosby and Malkin and what they are here, because we live back in Pittsburgh. And then for him to see, because I played on a line with Malkin and Crosby in that game, which is crazy.
Wow.
To have the chance to do that, but to play on a line with those guys, my kid sees me like playing on a line with Malkin and Crosby. It's like he can't even believe it. But he can't even believe that like that was real after he knows like what Malkin and Crosby are now that he's 8 and knows about hockey. It's like yeah, that happened. I maybe you question the coaching a bit, but it happened. It happened.
He just needs a little bit of proof. He wants to make sure this isn't like a tall tale you're telling him.
Well, you can tell him there was some guy going around all of Newfoundland wearing a Colby Armstrong jersey playing Arts and Culture Center gig.
People
awesome.
were confused at the wardrobe choice. I'll tell you that. People were
peacock effect, bud. Peacock effect.
Army, you got any nagging injuries? You retired early.
Yeah, you know what? My 2 years in Toronto, I signed a 3-year contract there, and I literally got. I don't know how I played as many games as I even played there. It was brutal for me, and I don't know what happened to me. I got a bunch of injuries all in those 2 years. I broke both my feet 1 year, and I wrecked my hand. My tendon blew off my knuckle, so I had surgery for that. I was out, and then I got a high ankle sprain.
Fuck, that was the worst. That's what did me in.
My leg broke off.
Yeah. That's what did me in.
My leg broke off. It was so bad. Yeah, it was.
How bad are those?
Yeah,
man?
it's terrible.
And I kept thinking I was better, and I'd go back like a week early, and then I'd set off something that I'd tweak it, and now I'm out for another fucking month. It was unfucking believable, guys.
Yeah. It's the most painful thing ever. Like when it happened to me, I don't know how. I went to hit a guy. He dodged out of the way. I fell. I tripped over him. I was going to go into the boards kind of head first. I tried to get back to my feet. And like my ankle, like something happened, like got stuck in a rut and like
oh my God.
I don't know what happened. And I smashed into the boards anyways. And then I just remember being on all fours and I was thinking, Jesus, I think my freaking leg blew off. I think I lost my leg. It was so painful. Like I was just worst. Like, what happened? I had no clue.
Do you know how I did mine?
I had that.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, so I had that. And a concussion in the same year where I missed like 2.5 months out with a concussion. And all inside of that also I got sucker punched and scratched my cornea. Also like a blood clot went in behind my eye and I couldn't see out of my one eye. It just was blocked. Just like crazy things happened to me. Not like I was like pulling my groin or anything crazy. It's just like I couldn't keep my body together and ended up getting bought out. And then I spent 1 year, the lockout year, half the season in Montreal. And then I couldn't get a job after. Like that's when, after that lockout, everyone started going to the 20-year-old kids and the 18, 19-year-old kids. And once I was 30 at the time, and then it's
I've often said it, Colby.
A few bad years.
It's hard for us to say, I guess, because I really don't know if guys now are for it or against it. But I certainly. In the minors, right through to the NHL, I think there's too many games. Like hockey's so physical. At least the way that you and I would play it. Even if you're not physical in hockey, it's 82 games, guys, is a lot, and then you get the exhibition, and a lot of guys play most of those, and then you get the playoffs. And so if you win the Stanley Cup or you get to the final, your reward is here's a month and a fucking half. There you go. You played 108 games this year.
With the, I was going to say, you can if you play a lot of the exhibition games, and I think they should cut a lot of that out. You can actually cap like 110 games played if you're having a long playoff.
Yeah,
that's a lot of wear and tear.
People wonder why these teams like LA and Chicago go on a run for a year or 2 or 3, and then they don't make the playoffs. It's because they're fucking tired and they're beat up. So a guy like Colby, again, I'm speaking for you, but I don't know, just when I came into that age and everything was different, but to go back to it, you know what fucking happened to me? I begged for a trade out of Montreal. You know, and a lot of people listen to our first episode, equate me not liking Michel Therrien with the Montreal. He was my coach in Fredericton. I just didn't like him. He probably would have had me as long as I fought. He played me, but in Montreal, I was just sick of that, and I started fighting all the heavyweights. Man, like everybody, Domi 3 times should never happen for a middleweight like myself. And you know, I was a scorer, so I wanted to go, and I finally get traded to Dallas, finally in 2001, after a couple of years just kind of waiting, and I signed in St. John's one year, but I wanted to get back to the NHL. St. John's was in the AHL at the time, and anyway, I go to Dallas camp, and I'm having a great camp, and you know, I was invited to like at least half a dozen, so I picked that strategically, so I really had a good chance, and we're in warm-up, and I was skating around doing the horseshoe, and I like slipped on a puck, and when my leg extended, Darian Hatcher of all fucking people fell on it. Yeah, man. Yeah. So like, cause I bumped into him, like we were just doing 2-on-1 regroup. That was or circle back and shoot on the goalie, and then I did it, and something happened, and I thought I broke my ankle, but I didn't. I guess the doc told me it probably would have been better if you had broken it. I don't know what happened with you, Colby, but that was my thing, and it pained so much, and I waited, and they sent me to Boise, which was their affiliate. But so all of a sudden, I think I'm going to be in the NHL. That was their double affiliate. Yeah. I'm in the fucking coast, and I just couldn't. I kept coming back too early until there was so much scar tissue and pain that I just couldn't do it. And it took about 2 years for that to go away. And even now, you know, I still know it's there. You know, those arthritic pains or whatever it's going to be. But
buddy, like I noticed my. Like when I'm walking, or even like you just look down at your feet, you know how you stand like straight. I noticed like my feet are just sit differently on that one ankle. Like it was brutal. Like I had to wear pretty much a tape cast around my ankle for a year and a half.
Yeah, man.
After that, just to like make sure. It honestly, if guys get that, and I don't know, for whatever reason, guys get that a lot now.
They get a lot now, like and at the time,
serious, brutal injury. It's a brutal injury to have.
I redid it getting down to play baseball. I play baseball in the summer. I'm normally an outfielder, and we didn't have a catcher, so. Boys, I redid it.
Oh, I can only
getting
imagine.
Down into the I was just, it hadn't hurt for a while, and we're talking like 4 years had gone by.
Yeah.
And I just went down into that position and boom, right away, and done again. I'm like, holy shit.
That's how I got mine playing mixed league softball. My high ankle sprain was end of the year. It was the last game. We were down by a run. I would have been the tying run. I was on first base, and they hit a ground ball to the shortstop, and me, despite being slow as fuck, managed to beat out the throw, but they had the magnetic like hard bases down, and instead of like the floating bags they normally have in mixed league softball, and I cut in my ankle. I cut in around because I wasn't allowed to slide, so I cut in to try to hook the base and just fucking destroyed it. And so I hear the ump yell like safe, and I'm rolling around on the ground screaming in agony, and like the woman who was playing second base like goes over and tags me, and he goes out, game over, and I get helped off the field. I'm on crutches for a fucking month.
Oh my god, that's hard. That's like a gritty Sandlot reboot.
It was, yeah, no, it was, and yeah, but you know, I was back on the ice a month and a half later, or whatever it was. You know,
well, try getting it like mid-season, because what it is like it's your ankle's like floating, right? So it's your tibia and your fibia go down, and there's fibula, and there's some kind of a fascia that like in between your bones that holds your bones together, so they can't like splay apart every time you take a step. Mm-hmm. Your bones want to go apart. So what you actually do is you rip that rips up in the middle, and that's what it is. So every time you step down, your legs like ripping apart. So that's why you can't walk on it. I was in air cast on crutches for like a month and a half.
That's why I wish I saw an NHL doctor instead of a coach.
Yeah, what are you going to do when you come back after that? You're like on the couch, literally. You can't walk. I couldn't walk. You're not allowed to put weight on it at all to like help it heal. So it's a tough injury just physically to come back from, but then the amount of time you're not able to do literally anything on top of it to come back middle of the season. When I see these guys get these injuries, I'm just like, oh my God, that's going to be the worst rest of the year ever.
And for me, I found when I came back, because like I said, I was on crutches for like a little over a month, I think, on it. And when I came back, when hockey season started, like, because I was living in my hometown at the time, they didn't have ice down in the summer, so it was like once the ice went down, like mid-October. And I tried to go out skating on it. I actually found skating easier than walking. So I got way back into hockey way too soon on it because I found like the different kind of like movement I was doing skating, like pushing to the side as opposed to coming straight down on it.
For me, when I could start skating again as a winger, this even continued into senior hockey. I mean, I still play senior. I enjoy it. It's a high level here in Newfoundland, or high level senior. But I had to go center because taking that pass on the wing and then taking a hit, I could never brace myself. Even like years later, like talking now. Yeah. And that would have been like 15, 16 years ago. Yeah, like it's still happening. And so I often wonder too. I see people with it and I'm like, holy fuck, this could be career ending. Because for me, it definitely was. Army, do you see yourself ever as a coach? Great player, all-rounded. You're well-rounded. You analyze the game well. Leader. I can keep going, but if I go any further than this, I think I'll actually be sucking your dick. So let's just say, do you think of yourself as a coach?
Colby phoned in case anyone's wondering. He's phoned into the show.
Sign me up for next week's podcast.
I also have another podcast on another channel called The Blue Zone. Go ahead.
I thought about it, TR. I have thought about if I'd like to do that or not. Where do you start doing that, right? Like when you quit playing, I mean, it's like you're graduating from high school with, at 30-some years old. And you're like, how do you even do this? I don't even know how to do it. Well, where do you start?
I tell you where you start.
So
I'm impressed by I was in Pittsburgh a few times in the. Oh, by the way, possibly going to be there again in March 22nd for a ball hockey tournament. That's a long story. I'll just tell you on the phone. But
we'll get beers. We'll get beers.
Yeah, of course we will. But I was fucking blown away every time I go there by the minor hockey. There's good, and the guys, you should. I mean, Ryan Malone, isn't he from there? There's a bunch of NHL players. I remember being there from Pittsburgh and the minor. Because I'm coming at it, guys, from the angle of a lot of places you go in the States, minor hockey sucks. I mean that, like, if you're a good player, it's really hard to flourish because you're playing against shit, and by the time you're midget, you're not good anymore.
No, I've seen the Mighty Ducks. I know how the minor hockey system works.
Pittsburgh's different, man. Every time I go there, I'm impressed. They got a great system, and they do pretty well. You would always expect the Bostons and the Detroit Little Caesars and shit like that, but Pittsburgh's all right. So my thing was, maybe you can start there. How old are your kids?
I got an 8-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. So I'm in it right now, boys.
Oh my gosh, Jesus! No, you're going to be doing this for the next 20 fucking years.
Literally building a hockey team, aren't you? That's what you're after here, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
It is.
Yeah, I got a boy and 3 girls. So right now, my oldest, the boy, he plays hockey, and I got to say that there's a lot of guys that are even playing in. Vincent Trocheck, John Gibson, goaltender in Anaheim, Matt Barkowski in Minnesota right now. Stephen Johns in Dallas. So they have some guys coming out of the area now that are playing in the NHL, which I think, years prior, hockey wasn't as big. But now it's crazy. Like you could play as much hockey as you want here right now, and there's teams all over the place and programs. So it's blown up huge, and I think obviously the pinnacle. I think if you look around the States right now, you could look at California and what they've done in the Gretzky boom down there. In St. Louis, they have first-rounders coming out everywhere
of them
right
too.
now.
St. Louis, I noticed that, man. I'm following Jamie Rivers on Twitter, and since I started doing, he's tweeting out a lot about minor hockey. Holy fuck, man!
Well, we just saw Frederick last week. Trent Frederick with Boston make his debut. Who's from St. Louis?
St. Louis guys.
That great stuff with Bacchus and the photo and stuff like that's kid.
Yeah, well, they've got guys like Jamie Rivers or Kachuk forever was there, and Al McInnes, and they have all these guys stay there. Their alumni is awesome. Their guys are great. They all stay there and help out with the minor hockey system, and now have all these young player programs that produce these players now that are coming out of there. So yeah, they're doing a great job. I think Pittsburgh's a little bit behind that, but it's well on its way, and it's been great moving back here. Honestly, it's been great sitting up in the press box every night watching Crosby. It's amazing, and then to have my kid playing hockey and being around here and help out what I can on the ice as far as coaching. But I'm liking doing the TV thing right now. I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. It's taken me some time getting used to it. It's been not as easy as I thought it would be. It's been different being on camera and learning to be on camera and managing your thoughts. And I'm sure TR, you got your hands in on everything. You're in movies and TV shows and whatnot. I'm sure it takes a little bit of time getting used to how to be. And they always say be yourself, and I'm like, what does that even mean? But as you learn and get comfortable on TV and on camera, I think you learn how to be yourself a little bit more. But it takes a lot of some reps and sometimes doing it.
Colby, that's one thing I've noticed, like just browsing through like the Twitter and the internet and stuff like that. It seems like a lot of fellas that play in that like 2000s Pittsburgh core, when they do retire, they end up living back there. Like,
guys from the 2000 era?
Well, like in the 2000s era,
like
the Penguins.
mid-2000s
like, yeah,
thing,
that
like,
mid-2000s Penguins. Like, I think I didn't know you were living there, but I remember, I think they had like a small alumni thing earlier this season that I was just cruising through the television and saw like a handful of the fellas are like, well, yeah, after I retired, I moved back there. Like, are there a lot of guys that played on the Penguins that chose to like just set up shop there when they finished up?
I think of all the guys that I played with, there's like J.S. Aubin, goaltender. He lives here now. Frankie LaRue, who I played with in the minors, he lives here.
Yeah.
Tyler Kennedy, who won the Stanley Cup there in 2009, he lives here now and runs hockey camps and stuff. But there's a lot of older guys like Brian Trottier lives here.
Nice.
Pierre Rouge, obviously, with Mario, and there's a group of guys from that era that stick around here. So there really isn't that many, but there's a good core group of us guys sticking around and hanging around. That it's been good doing some alumni events and some other stuff around the city, and good for me. It's like you kind of have like a little side team, because that's one thing I miss. I miss hanging out with the boys. I miss being in the room. That's the best part of hockey, and I don't really miss playing that much. Like, I love playing in the NHL. It was awesome, but I miss like your 2 hours every day where you get to go into practice with a coffee and sit around and have laughs with the boys. Like, I really miss that.
That's why I still play senior, man.
Yeah.
It is. I'm still playing. I still haven't cut the cord. Who knows? One of these days, maybe someone will call me up. No, I still haven't. I lost in 2 Allen Cup finals. The Allen Cup's the senior chair. Well, actually, you know that. Yeah. I still enjoy it. It's probably be the last year because I got so much to do. But that's really, to me, the takeaway from playing that is just hanging out with the boys, and even just a half hour before the practice and after, and the game preparation. Like, I'm used to it. I feel that I'm a hockey player, and it gives me. See, in Newfoundland is different. Like, you got all the. The senior hockey's a high level. We got imports. Aaron Asham was an import a couple years ago for us. So we, all the boys here that play college and major junior, and some cases the NHL, we all continue playing here because we have a blast, and we go on road trips throughout the island and still play that. And they sell tickets, they sell jerseys. It's it's a nice little secret still, but. Kind of, but when teams like Clarenville and Gander and Grand Falls Grand Falls and Clarenville won the Allen Cup within the last 5-6 years, both of them. So anyway, I love
Grand
that
Falls,
part
Windsor.
of it.
I'd get in trouble with people if I didn't correct you. Sorry.
No, that's interesting you say that, Colby. You know what? And I know that you've been to Newfoundland, but you should come here in the summer. Much like Pittsburgh, by the way. When I was in Pittsburgh in the fucking winter and had to go play there, I didn't think anything of it. I go back in the summer. Whoa.
Yeah.
She's a different ball game.
Yeah,
you go into the mountain, you come out of the mountain,
beauty.
And you're grooving.
Wow.
Hey, you get the
yeah.
You get the big 3 sports stadiums, just fucking awesome right there, and the downtown is that square, that area that people go and drink and they eat, and there's a little. What do you call it? It's a square. If you're in Europe,
Like a courtyard?
It's called Market Square.
Market Square.
Like a courtyard thing?
Courtyard.
Yeah.
It's a great
It's
tourist
like a courtyard,
commercial for
walk
Pittsburgh.
around cobblestone roads.
I just love it in the
cobblestone
summer.
roads. And you know what I love about living in Pittsburgh, boys? It's just like like TR said, though, it's beautiful. It's old city. It's got a cool feel to it, but the people are awesome here. Like, they just love their sports teams. They drink beer. They work hard.
Yeah.
They're just good, blue-collar, awesome people. It reminds me of, like, where I'm from, Saskatoon, really.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know, they're a lot like Tuners.
They just appreciate, like, hard work, and they appreciate their teams winning, and, you know, it's
And they're fans,
it's
man.
a great place to raise a family. Yeah, they're fans.
They're
And
fans.
there's always an
True blue.
excitement around the city, and it's not very big, so everyone kind of knows everyone around here too. So it's got that good, like, small town feel to it a little bit, and it's been great. Honestly, it's been great here. And then obviously when I first moved back here, the Pens went back-to-back Cup champs, and I was tagging along doing some radio stuff, and I'd never seen a Cup presentation with my own eyes other than on Hockey Night in Canada or on TV, and you know, to see that the Cup get presented back-to-back years, and I got to be there for both of them. I was just like amazed to see it.
I'd like to see him win it on home ice sometime.
Yeah,
I mean,
win it
they've
on-
never
'cause-
done it. They've never done it. They've never won the Cup in Pittsburgh.
know, it's-
They've got 5 now, and they're all on the road.
But what was it like though, Colby, coming back as somebody who's doing it like as a media presence who had been on the team with a lot of those guys years before? It was kind of that fun thing of the other night when Jim Nantz said, "Tony Romo, welcome to the Super Bowl," and he's like, "I've been waiting my whole fucking life for someone to say that." But
Yeah.
you know, getting there and being part of it in a different sort of way than you kind of envision. What's it like though to be there with the team, seeing these guys that you played with hoisting that cup like that?
Yeah, it was really cool. You know, especially, you know, when I, you know, talking to Sydney and knowing Sid as well as I do, and a guy that's come in that's supposed to be the guy that's supposed to bring these cups to the city, he's supposed to be that guy. So the pressure, I think, I guess it would be his legacy of what you're supposed to do when you come in. And, you know, McDavid has that same thing going in Edmonton. There's that pressure there. Like, he's supposed to bring Stanley Cups to Edmonton with the kind of player he is. And to know Sid and to play with him and see how professional he is and how much he cares and to do it. For me to see, win back-to-back, but for him to win his 3rd Stanley Cup and do it back-to-back like he did in the Conn Smythe Trophy, and to live up to all the pressure and what you're supposed to be, to see him do that, I was just like, holy smokes, like, this is what it's all about, to see that and to bring, you know, these trophies to this beautiful city and small town feel. Like, they just appreciate it so much. He's their guy. You know, so it was amazing. Jeez, man, I got to go in the friggin' parade. Talk about being cool. They put me in the parade as like one of the TV radio guys, and I've got to bring my son with me. I have the coolest pictures of just like thousands of people on the street. We're in this convertible car driving down the road downtown Pittsburgh in this parade on like one of the hottest days ever of my life. It was unbelievable to be a part of and to see it with your own eyes. And it's you know, I can't thank the Penguins enough, because when I moved from Saskatoon here, I had a house here that I had when I got traded. And I rented it to Craig Adams, who played here for a long time, and he was here with his family living in my house. I lived in my house for like 4 months when I got traded. So when I moved back here, I was like, we got a house there. I got a house in Saskatoon. What am I going to do? I'll call up Pittsburgh and see if there's anything there that I could do. I called him up, a guy I knew in the Penguins organization, said, hey, I'm thinking about moving back there. You got anything like radio or TV-wise? I'm starting to do that stuff in your post-career. And they're like, you know what? Move back here. We'll find something for you.
That's great.
So I was
Not
like,
bad.
damn.
Yeah, that's
Literally
good. They're
3
alumni.
weeks later, I was in 2-3 weeks later, I was in a truck going right back to Pittsburgh, put my house up for sale in Saskatoon, and it's been awesome. So, yeah, the Penguins organization's awesome. You know, the last few years here has been incredible to witness and be a part of and see. And I just wish I had the opportunity to do that as a player, because it's like amazing. It just seemed like so amazing to be on the outside looking at it. It was incredible.
They give the radio guys rings?
No.
Okay, I know Boston gave the guys.
Boston gave them to fucking
the
everybody.
people putting the nets on the moorings. They gave rings to in Boston.
I'm still disappointed I didn't get one.
Mike is in a hoodie, a Bruins hoodie next to me. I'm surprised he doesn't have a ring.
Yeah, I'm really shocked I didn't get one for that.
You mentioned 87 a couple of times. For those who might not be avid hockey fans.
Ray Rancourt, the anthem singer's got a ring. Glove to flop that.
Well, now
And he does the
Or,
The Coens,
yeah,
oh,
he
man.
deserves. I tried out for. We have an AHL team, or had an AHL team. I tried out to sing the anthem 3 years in a row just because I wanted to do that fist pump down at Mile 1, which is the stadium down here.
And you got turned down every time?
Not only did I get turned down every time,
They asked you to stop?
I had season tickets. They sat the anthem singer the last season. They sat the anthem singer next to me every game.
Oh, that's
so
just-
it's like, not only are you not good enough, here's the guy that's better than you every home game of the year.
Oh, that's cool.
So when Aaron Asham was on the program, he gave us a good '87 story. You were his roommate for quite a long time on the road. Have you got a good? Obviously, living in Pittsburgh, you keep in touch with Sid. Do you have a good Sid story for us?
Oh, yeah, okay. I guess one that I think is kind of funny because, I think Sid's a pretty private guy. People don't know, like, whole heck of a lot about him. I remember one time we got to Toronto on the road, and I went out for drinks, we got in. I don't know if we probably were supposed to practice next day in Toronto, but we went out, and we had to sneak back into the hotel, later. But, of course, standard style, I wheeled through the McDonald's drive-thru in a taxi with a couple of guys, so I had the McDonald's. And so when I came in the room, and the good roommate that I am, I went right into the bathroom, because Sid was sleeping. I didn't want to wake him up, just good guy style. So I'm sitting on the edge of the tub. I got my meal all out. I'm ready just to pound food in the bathroom.
you got your 10 pack of nuggets laid out on a paper towel on top of the toilet. Yeah, no, I got it.
I got the Big Mac and the fries. I got another burger there just in case I'm still hungry. And I'm pounding food. All of a sudden, the bathroom door opens. I just about to nail my Big Mac. I look up and Sid coming in the door. He goes, "Hey, Bob, you got anything for me?"
Wow.
I am sitting in the bathroom. We didn't even go out in the room. We're both sitting in the bathroom eating my McDonald's.
Oh, that's great.
fantastic.
That's good. If you're chatting with him, ask him if he wants to be on a podcast.
Hey, look, boys, that's a fantastic way to end it. Unless you guys had some more.
I had something else, but maybe we'll save it for next.
No, it's been an hour, and I just
it's a little over an hour now. And Colby, I appreciate you taking.
Sometimes these guys do us a favor, but yeah, of course, Mike.
Well, all I was going to ask is something that we had kind of like you kind of mentioned about how when you started in Pittsburgh, it was kind of as Sid was coming in and that hype was coming back, but it was a team that was not long before that talking about relocating, and then you get traded and you go to Atlanta. That's a team that a year later relocates, but then you finish out your career between the Maple Leafs and the Canadiens, which are two of the most storied. Like, I think it's safe to say that Toronto and Montreal are going to have hockey teams for a long time. And so what's it like going from that, an environment like Atlanta to an environment like Toronto, and just the kind of culture shift there for hockey?
Yeah, you know what? When I was in Atlanta, I was craving it, though. I wanted to be in the action. I really wanted to be somewhere where, there was a standard and there was, we had people expected us to do well regardless who we had on the team. And I know our Leafs teams weren't that good when I was there, but when I got out of Atlanta, I was like, man, I just want to go somewhere where the fans are just crazy and care, and like there's expectations there to do well, and it's you're in a place where there's that attention every single night. And when I got offered by Toronto and free agency came, I was like, yep, I love it. I want it so bad. I want to be in that so bad. I don't know if it was just because I was in Atlanta for a few years and I missed it, or if that's really who I am. I want to be in that attention and have that. But I jumped at it. I loved it. And same with Montreal. I grew up a Habs fan as a kid, so to be able to play there and pull on that jersey, and we made the playoffs that year, shortened season. I thought we were going to win the Stanley Cup. We had a great sprint that year in the second half. But to play for both those places, the media, the fan bases, the electricity, Hockey Night in Canada, the excitement, it's just, I don't know, you can't beat it. I was so lucky to do that. Honestly, Pittsburgh was awesome. I loved my time in Pittsburgh. Probably my favorite place that I did play, because it's a good balance, I think, between the attention, the media, but then you live your everyday life, and it's got that energy and that intensity and that expectation, but it's just on like a little bit of a lower level. Whereas in Toronto, Montreal was the pinnacle of peak hockey.
So it was crazy. I remember when I was in Montreal, boys, I was at the bar. We had like a bunch of team dinners and stuff while we were killing time before the season started up, and we went out to dinner, and some of the guys were like, hey, meet us at this bar down the street after dinner. I was at dinner with my wife. So I was like, okay, so I went down there, and the guys weren't there yet. But there was, I turned around, and there was like 30, 40 people gathered around. I hadn't even played the game for the Habs yet. You know, when they're like, they have you at that level of you're their guy. I hadn't even put on the jersey and stepped on the ice as a Montreal Canadian yet, and I was like, I got to get out of here, otherwise I'm gonna be crawling out of there after everyone's buying it. It's crazy. It's one of a kind places like that. I love Montreal. It was so good. I was so lucky to play in places like that.
Oh, that's great.
And they're playing one another tonight, the Leafs and the Habs.
It's gonna be a good one, I think. I'm looking forward to seeing that one for sure. So I don't know. I had something I was curious about, but I'm going to let it go because it's been over an hour.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you about it next time.
Well, I
want to get you back. This has been great, Colby.
Before
Thank you
go,
so much.
This isn't going to go live until Tuesday, Colby. Do you got a prediction for tonight's game, Leafs or Habs? If you're buying a pro line, who you going with?
I'll go Leafs.
Boy.
Okay. All right. Let's see.
If I'm betting with my brain, I go Leafs, boys.
All right.
There you go. I had Leafs. I don't know what you guys are going to say. I mean, I love the Habs too, but I had Leafs. Colby, thank you. Really appreciate it, buddy. Right. And I personally will be in contact late March. And so it was great talking to you again.
Good. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. I'll be back, boys. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it as always. I've got to get out to Newfoundland and we'll have some beers sometime.
Hey, man, if you do,
like a plan.
Hospitality times 10. Most of it's on me, man. Most of it's on me.
All right. Thanks so much, Colby. And I guess we'll talk to you again soon. That sounds good. Let's do it.
See you, boys.
See you, buddy. This interview brought to you by Little Dog. 5 years after quitting a match, Tommy Little Dog Ross begins a quest for redemption. Little Dog Season 2 is on CBC now. Catch it Thursday nights at 9 Eastern, 9:30 in Newfoundland. By the way, keep an eye out for yours truly taking a few knocks in the ring. That's Thursday nights at 9 Eastern, 9:30 in Newfoundland. Little Dog Season 2.
Again, a huge thanks to Colby for taking the time to chat to us. Of course, we recorded that before we recorded the first segment, and so TR, by the time we were all done, TR did have to step away, so it's just me and Charles to finish this one out.
This is the Inception episode for EMI. It's all over the place.
Yeah, it's kind of getting crazy here, but there's a couple things that we wanted to talk about that we should just get out of the way. We'll do it kind of in passing. Maybe we'll bring it up again. But we talked a bit about dumpster fires on the show so far today.
Yeah, before I spilled the beans about having beers with Eugene Melnyk.
Fuck's sakes, man. I still can't believe you were just sitting on that. But as of yesterday, as of today, I guess, because they're still on a 7-game fucking losing streak. And they lost... They lost 6. Oh, today, I guess. What's today's the 9th, right?
Today's the 9th. They've already lost.
I guess
today.
While we were recording, they lost 6-2 to Philly.
Oh dear God.
Fuck. Wow. But so they haven't won a hockey game in 53, or they have 2 wins, I think it is, in 53 days, something like that.
That is. Can you imagine? Like, that's got to be hell for the people on that team.
But here's the problem: is that they are currently 6 points out of a playoff spot.
Yeah, that's the West.
Because as bad as so like you've got teams, you've got your teams that are in your top 5 teams in the Western Conference are the Calgary Flames, the Winnipeg Jets, the San Jose Sharks, the Nashville Predators, and the Vegas Golden Knights are all above. And you know what? I'll throw in the Dallas Stars because they're all above 60 points.
I saw someone spell San Jose this week as San, S-A-N-O, the letter O, say. Oh, it was beautiful. one of the best things of my week. San Jose.
San Jose. But
I think so. Everybody has been going, and I think we touched on it.
But okay, so just Dallas. Right. Dallas is 10 points up on Anaheim right now. Anaheim at 51. Vegas is actually in their division, so they are 15 games back of Vegas. but they are only 6 points out of a wild card spot on this skid.
Yeah, no, that's no. I think I was just about to say we touched on the playoff format before, but I honestly think that those 2 West wildcard spots, give them to the East. Give them to the East this year. Don't let them have it. Just pretty much say like, no, but bad job or something like that. Give them to the East. It is, because the Oilers and the Ducks and the Blackhawks have all had like terribly disappointing seasons, and they're not counted out. I almost made a bet last week. I almost bet 10 pints at the Duke that the Oilers are still gonna make the playoffs, and man, I had to sit down and think if I was gonna say yes to that bet. Mike's
Sorry,
counting.
I'm counting something
Mike's
here.
counting.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of the top 16 teams are from the East.
Yeah, of course. Take away the wild cards in the West. That's it. We're not letting you have them.
Yeah, and I think that's the case.
Favorable for the
and then one of the teams and the 16th team there that would be getting in, who are currently out of a playoff spot, but would have one. They would be in the division, like they wouldn't even be wild card in the West right now, is the Buffalo Sabres, which is a nice segue into what the fuck did Sam Reinhart get on with?
Oh,
man! Yesterday the quote came out. I saw it on the TSN official Instagram. Threw up a quote from Sam Reinhart.
Let's not plug that. Can we redact that? Can we not plug TSN? Can we just like bleep it out?
That's where I found it. I got a source. I got a source where I see this. But that's where I saw it, and it's a quote from Sam Reinhart saying, "We can't expect to win hockey games 6-5 or 7-6. We need more from our goalies, and we need it from the start of hockey games. It's frustrating." How the hell do you say that? And I mean, I know why he said it. I know it's because the trade deadline is less than 2 weeks
he wants
away,
to get
and he wants the fuck out of Dodge.
He wants to get traded.
How do you just take it on to say that about your own?
I honestly think he wants to get moved. I think that's the only way that makes sense.
Think?
Yeah. Well, I wish we read that quote as TR was leaving, and when we record this, TR sits right to my right, and I wish I could have gotten an image on his face. The only real, like, his eyes lit up. The only thing I can compare it to is when I literally give like my friend's dog Charlie a treat. Like, that's, his eyes were just as big as a dog getting a treat. It was like, oh my god, I have to leave and I can't weigh in on this.
Yeah.
That's the only way. I mean, either that or he's gonna either that or he's, well, if I don't know if that writer that fabricated the hot dog story quoted it, it might not have happened because it's TSN. I'm sorry, I got less than no time for them.
Yeah, it's but also we're clipping through here because we're landing on segues because you mentioned a hot dog, and there was something you wanted to talk about regarding a hot dog, and Mr. Mike Babcock.
Mr. Oh, okay.
How'd you forget about this? You were so fired up about it.
Oh my god, the Mike. Okay. This came from a closed Facebook group I'm on of Leafs fans, and I guess one of the guys there was at practice, and
they did like an outdoor practice. There was a couple players I saw walking with hot dogs.
3-on-3 tournament. So I got some. I tweeted it, and it was on Thursday, and it was a gift from the hockey gods. Is Mike Babcock with a hot dog in a hurry. So if you don't know, Babs, I'm going to say he might not be to this day, but he was a distance runner, especially in his time in Detroit. He would run laps of the building, so they'd be like 20 Ks. Like, he's a distance runner, so that man can move, but if you look at that photo, he is clipping because everything is blurry in the background besides him. Like, he is moving along, and he's got nothing on that dog besides mustard. That's how your dad eats a hot dog. Like, that's it. Just a bit of mustard to make it a little sharp, take away the taste of, hot dog. And so anyhow, I got some context after I'd posted that. The team took the train.
Because it was an outdoor practice they were doing.
They took the train, so it's very well that Mike Babcock was rushing with a hot dog to catch a train. And boy, I tell you, we've all been there.
Yeah, it's just it was fantastic, and I loved it. I was so happy to see it.
It's real good, as he'd say, real good. GUD.
Where we don't have Terry, we're gonna skip over the hashtag hot take. We're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, I think
wrap it up a little early this week. There is something I want to go off on next week, and I'm putting. Actually, it'll be probably 2 weeks before I get a chance to do that, because next week our plan is we have a special episode coming up, and you'll see it. See some news about that coming in our social media feeds at 3MI Podcast. You'll see all that stuff later this week. But in the meantime, thanks so much for listening, guys. I'm at Hickey Comma Mike on things.
I'm at Smokes Indoors.
Terry, if you're listening to our podcast, chances are it's because you already follow Terry on something. So you can find him at Terry Ryan 20 and then Terry Ryan 2020 on Instagram. I think
is that like that's his vision, isn't it? He's got perfect 2020 vision.
I guess so. I guess that's what it is. But in the meantime, guys, thanks for listening, and we'll talk at you next week.
Catch you later.
The worst crowd.